Karena dengan memiliki me time, kita akan benar-benar merasakan apa sih yang sebenarnya saya rasakan. Dan itu semuanya proses latihan. Dan yang paling penting dalam nutrisi jiwa adalah bagaimana kita punya kemampuan untuk memaafkan kesalahan siapapun. Karena semakin kita pandai memaafkan, semakin luka jiwa kita akan terobati. Semakin kita pandai memaafkan, semakin jiwa kita ini akan kaya diberikan nutrisi. Oleh karena itu, mudah-mudahan diskusi ini bermanfaat untuk siapapun yang sedang mengalami overstress. Karena itu semua adalah tanda atau sinyal, dan ketika kita menyadari lebih dalam lagi, semua yang terjadi kepada diri kita adalah bahan pembelajaran kita untuk menjadi lebih baik. Terima kasih, semoga bermanfaat.
The C Morning Show right here on C today. It is the 5th January 2023, the first Friday of the year. We're jumping really close and very fast to the weekend right here. And of course, we're saying good morning to all of you that is watching across Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and of course, around the world. As always, we're here on the C Morning Show, even though it's a different year. As always, we're going to have the latest updates in regards to what is happening around the world. We're going to have updates on business and also entertainment buzz, and more about sports for today. If you like basketball, today is your day. And as always, right here, we're going to have some stories that we'd like to share with you, a couple of talk shows that I think today we need to use our hips around. It's going to be with Shahnas and Indra next for that talk show. I'm Caroline Sarahma today, your Friday squad. We have Shahnas Artono and Indra Marpao right here for your Friday morning. Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning. Good Friday.
We're gonna use our hips for sure.
Yeah, hips don't lie, by the way.
I don't know what my hips, but well, good morning, everybody. I'm your host, Indra Marpong, and in addition to what Carol just said, we also, well, she already mentioned that we have one special talk show about belly dancing, and we're gonna talk about basketball also again later, where we want to talk about the new rules on IBL. Well, meanwhile, you can always connect with us on our social media at C Today News on Instagram, X, and YouTube.
And hello everyone, good morning. I'm your host Shahna Suartono. I would like to greet our viewers that are now able to tune in from Foxtel's Flash Australia, Macau Cable TV Channel 84, Vision Philippines Channel 58, Air Cable Philippines, Singtel Singapore Channel 15, and also StarHub Channel 720. All right, let's start this Friday with our headlines.
We begin from United States. A city high school in Perry, Iowa was a victim of yet another shooting happened in the country just on students' first day back in classes after the winter break.
Heavy rainfall on Thursday caused flooding in some regions in Indonesia, including Riau Islands and Indonesian capital of Jakarta.
Social media were recently put in a state of shock following a commotion that allegedly broke out between a traffic warden and a driver in South Jakarta.
And today we're going to discuss about the latest changes of competition of Indonesia Basketball League right here, definitely in the C Morning Show, only on C-Today. So I think we celebrate New Year's. It was on Sunday.
It was on
right? Sunday night. So it's already Friday. Coming to Sunday, a week is going to pass by, fly so fast. So hopefully that you also now taking it day by day and really preserve your days in the 2024. And we're going to jump into our first headline of the day, where authorities in Perry, Iowa says a shooting broke out on Thursday at the city high school on students' first day back in classes after their annual winter break.
A spokesperson for Unity Point Health, which operates the Des Moines Hospital, confirmed the 2 gunshot victims arriving there.
Meanwhile, an enormous number of emergency vehicles surrounded the building. The houses that houses the town's middle school and high school.
Police in Perry, Iowa say multiple people were shot at the city's high school on students' first day back in classes after their annual winter break. 2 gunshot victims were taken by ambulance to Iowa Methodist Medical Center in the state capital of Des Moines, which is about 64 kilometers southeast of Perry, a community of about 8,000 people. Dallas County Sheriff Adam Infante said the shooting occurred before school was set to start, so there were few students and faculty in Perry High School.
This morning at approximately 7:37 a.m., we had a Sears radio activation at the high school, which indicated an active shooter situation. An officer first arrived within 7 minutes of that activation and located multiple gunshot victims. We're still unclear of exactly how many are injured or what the extent of those are, but we're working on that right now. There is no further danger to the public. The community is safe. We're just now working backwards, trying to figure out everything that happened and make notifications.
The suspect in the shooting has died of what investigators believe is a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The shooting occurred in the backdrop of the Iowa caucuses and not far from where Republican presidential candidates were campaigning. FBI agents from the Omaha Des Moines office were on the scene to help with the investigation, led by the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation. The high school is part of the 1,785-student Perry Community School District.
So can you guys imagine, this is after Christmas break and also New Year's break. You coming in, the victim was a 6th grader, but the perpetrator or the suspect who also got killed because of his gunshots. He's only 17 years old. So this school, the campus between the junior high school and the high school are all together. And actually, as was mentioned before, the shooting began at 7:30. Responders came about 7 minutes after they got the call, the 911 call. And it's just, they were just having breakfast. So usually what we have, in junior high school, when I was going there for school or elementary school, do you remember, Indra, that we don't go in? So you have kind of like a snack time first, and then sometimes in the cafeteria, sometimes in your classes, and then, you go back to when you ring the bell, and then you go to the classes. So that's what happened. They were kind of like regrouping, and usually there's a lot of kids because they want to like share their stories, what they've done and whatnot. So the victim is 6th grader, but the perpetrator, again, as I mentioned, is a 17-year-old student at the high school, at the Perry High School, and he brought himself a pump-action shotgun and a small caliber handgun. So as of right now, there are some news circulating also in social media, because it seems that while he's doing the shooting, he's also active in social media. This is also under investigation. As of right now, that is counted, there are a 6th grade student and 5 other people that had become the victim. This is not the only shooting violence that happened in the United States for this week alone in 2024. In New Jersey, a imam was shot multiple times and killed outside his mosque, and that is on Wednesday.
Now, Attorney General Matt Platkin said that the authorities are still searching for shooter, but there is no evidence indicating the shooting was motivated by anti-Muslim bias.
Nonetheless, Plotkin said that law enforcement has stepped up outreach to houses of worship, particularly Jewish and Muslim ones.
Approximately 6 a.m. today, Newark Police Department was alerted to the shooting of Imam Hassan M. Sharif of Masjid Muhammad Mosque, located in the 200 block of South Orange Avenue here in Newark. We can only confirm that he was shot more than once. EMS responded promptly and transported him to University Hospital, which is located within blocks of the mosque. And despite the valiant efforts of the hospital staff, the imam succumbed to his injuries at 14:21 this afternoon.
I want every resident of our state to know that we are bringing all of our resources to bear to keep our Muslim friends and neighbors safe, as well as safe all New Jerseyans safe. Just as we are going to continue to work around the clock to identify and bring to justice anyone involved in the killing of Imam Sharif.
All right, now let's move over to other news. Now we are gonna bring you some more updates from around the globe, where we are still trying to bring you more. Thousands in Beirut participated Thursday in the funeral of a top Hamas commander and in an apparent Israeli airstrike on an apartment in the Lebanese capital.
Now, draped Palestinian Hamas flags, Arouri's coffin, along with two of his comrades, were first taken to Beirut Mosque, where prayers were held before they were carried on foot for burial at a cemetery of fallen Palestinian fighters and assassinated commanders in Beirut. The funeral was attended by Palestinian officials as well as representatives of some Lebanese political groups.
Lebanese officials and state media said an Israeli drone fired 2 missiles Tuesday at an apartment in Beirut's southern Musharraf district, killing Arouri's along with 6 other Hamas members. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had threatened to kill him even before Hamas carried out its attack on Israel on October 7th.
Arouri's killing raises tensions in the already volatile Middle East with Israel's ongoing genocide in Gaza.
إن هذه الجريمة لا تفت في عضد المقاومة ولا في حركة حماس، لأن حماس قدمت خيرة شهدائها وفي مقدمته مؤسسها، واستمرت في مسيرة المقاومة حتى أنجزت هذا الإنجاز العظيم طوفان الأقصى، وستستمر بإذن الله تعالى حتى التحرير والعودة بإذن الله.
ضرب الجهاد والمقاومة لا يخلو من أن يدفع لأي إنسان يمشي في هذا الطريق الثمن، وهذا مطلب ورجاء كل مقاوم يمشي في هذا الطريق. إنما دفع أو الرد سيتركه لخيار المقاومة، وهو إن شاء الله سيكون رد قاسي وبحجم هذه الجريمة النكراء التي يتمتع بها العدو الصهيوني بكل ما أوتي من قوة ومن يدعمه.
Now let's bring you over to Indonesia. Netizens were recently put in a state of shock following a commotion that allegedly broke out between a traffic warden and a driver in Setiabudi area, South Jakarta.
It was a complete drama when traffic wardens stopped a car driver who they thought was suspicious. He was not happy as one of the officers deflated his car tire. As the officer prepared penalty notices, the driver ran away and found that he was carrying another officer on the hood of the car to Jalan Rasuna side, South Jakarta.
Now, during the incident that occurred on Wednesday, the driver was also seen making an offensive gesture by pointing his middle finger to the officer. The commotion finally ended with a peace following an agreement signed by both parties.
Nah pada saat itu petugas kami sebagian melakukan pengebahan dan sebagian lagi mengatur lalu lintas. Dan salah satu petugas kami melihat ada mobil merah, Avanza merah, melintas berulang kali, dan itu sambil melakukan video, merekam video dan menggunakan handphonenya, sambil dilihat petugas dia sambil mengacukan jari tengahnya. Nah karena sampai 4 kalinya petugas kita merasa terganggu dan bermaksud untuk menanyakan apa maksud dari yang bersangkutan melakukan hal itu. Nah akhirnya di-stoplah oleh petugas kita.
Tadi ini mencoba untuk melaju kendaraannya. Ketika saya dekati, beliau langsung tancap gas, sehingga saya dengan refleks megang wiper. Saya loncat ke kendaraan tersebut, saya megang ke mobil Avanza tersebut. Dia langsung tancap gas dan membawa kendaraannya itu dengan begitu cepat. Lanjut zigzag dia bawa kendaraannya memasuki jalan Rasuna Sahid. Dia masuk ke jalan Rasuna Sahid aja itu terus melaju kencang. Sedangkan di jalan aja dia sempat menabrak kendaraan roda 2, tapi dia tidak dihiraukan. Dia tetap melaju kendaraan tersebut sampai titiknya di Menteng.
All right, so this happened in South Jakarta. What do you think? This is something that we usually watch on Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
Something that you
It's
watch
scary.
right here across the road.
Yes, one thing that I don't really understand is the driver. Because he actually recorded it, and then he drove off with the warden on top of the hood,
car.
and he recorded the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I guess he posted because people can access the whole video. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, you know, you're doing a crime, right? Like no matter how right you are well, again, from the explanation, he was going back and forth, and like
Yeah.
the wardens are trying to clear up the people who illegally parking around the area, and they're asking like, what are you doing? Like, why you keep going back and forth and giving a gesture and stuff like that, and then he posted the whole thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, I don't want to have an evidence that I'm doing something like running a traffic
Yeah.
light or anything like that, but like the fact that you have an officer on your hood and you keep driving away, and it's like, oh.
And keep recording.
And keep recording, yes.
Recording. It's doing 3 things at once,
That's
juggling
right.
everything.
Once in a lifetime thing, right? I mean, you're going to get a lot of loves and reaction on that social media content, by the way. So we're still right here in Indonesia, where from the Francida Airport in Sika Regency, Maumere has temporarily banned flights since January the 1st due to the eruption of Mount Lewatobi Laki-Laki in East Flores, East Nusa Tenggara.
The Francida Airport Management is currently working with the Meteorology, Climatology, and Geophysics Agency, or BMKG, to determine the appropriate time to re-allow flights to the airport. The ban is in place since it's necessary for the safety of air travelers. The Kupang Search and Rescue Agency has deployed officers to respond to any potential impact following Mount Lewatobi Laki-Laki's eruption.
Meanwhile, flights to Ende Airport have resumed. Turn of the year, it is still spewing volcanic ashes, which disrupts flights in the area.
Adanya gunung meletus di Lewatobi, ya itu ada beberapa pesawat kita yang divert, yang harusnya langsung di Kupang divert ke Ujung Pandang dan Labuan Bajo itu sebelum Natal. Nah, setelah Natal dan Tahun Baru kemarin, pesawat yang dari Maumere cancel semua. Pesawat dari dan ke Maumere sampai saat ini masih cancel karena gunungnya belum bagus.
Di Polda mengikuti apel kesiapsiagaan bencana dan memang fokus untuk antisipasi erupsinya Gunung Lewatobi di Flores Timur. Kami Basarnas Kupang, Kantor SAR Kupang siap membackup apabila memang dibutuhkan perbantuan dari Basarnas Kupang untuk membackup Basarnas Maumere.
All right, so again, we apologize. There were some technical difficulties in this first segment of our C Morning Show. It's a little bit jumpy on this Friday morning, guys, so let's crack our knuckles right now, and we're going to come back later on after the break with the latest from Indonesia when we return. Don't go anywhere.
The beauty and the excitement of being there.
Indescribable to lose such an iconic, historical, and magnificent
let's take a look around, shall we? Come on in. We found them.
Where people come and go.
A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Group of volunteers operating in the south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Cuman dia yang ngerti gimana cara rilis the stress gitu. Pemain. Nana kan merah kan? Arsenal.
Oh iya.
Saya kira kuning.
Kenapa apa?
Banana.
Oh banana. Oh,
iya.
Oh masuk.
Pas waktu kan kakak tahu itu hari dimaki.
Iya.
Iya kan udah ditanya juga di situ.
Ya kan ini kan beda acaranya. Oh yang abang kan dikasih tahu.
Is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, lebih panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar di itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Sisi. Welcome to Tech In Today.
Do you know? Now there is a food delivery jetpack.
Hello folks, welcome back to the C Morning Show right here on C. Today we have the latest updates right here from Indonesia, and of course if people coming and flying out and by right here in our nation, well, the Immigration Directorate General has launched 78 automatic gates or auto gates in Terminals 2 and 3 of the Soekarno-Hatta International Airport in Tangerang, Banten. Then they were built to facilitate and accelerate immigration checks.
Indonesian citizens and foreign nationals who use the auto gates will no longer need to queue since they will only need 15 seconds to pass immigration check.
The Indonesian Law and Human Rights Ministry recently launched automatic gates or auto gates through the Immigration Directorate General. This is meant to facilitate the immigration check process at Terminal 3 of the Soekarno-Hatta International Airport in Tangerang, Banten. The airport provides 52 auto gates in the arrival gate and another 16 in the Terminal 3 departure gate. Meanwhile, 5 auto gates have been set up in the departure and arrival areas of Terminal 2. Foreign arrivals in the airport only need 15 seconds to pass immigration. Immigration Director General Silmi Karim said that these auto gates come with advanced face recognition technology connected to the Interpol database. They are also connected with local police database.
Biasanya menunggu bisa 15 menit, setengah jam, saat ini cuma 15 detik dan boleh dilihat tidak ada antrian. Ya, karena jumlahnya cukup banyak, ya. Dan kemudian juga lebih mudah karena pakai teknologi face recognition, ya, jadi melihat muka, dicek, dihubungkan dengan database Interpol, ya, kemudian database cegah dan tangkal, cekal, dan database kita yang lainnya adalah person of interest. Sehingga proses yang 15 detik itu sudah mengecek semua database, ya. Dan tadi juga ada seorang WNA yang saya kawal sendiri, saya lihat prosesnya juga begitu smooth, begitu cepat, ya. Dan ini adalah salah satu hal yang menurut saya sangat baik yang tentunya akan kita ulangi di beberapa bandara lainnya.
Muhammad Azi, who just arrived from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, said that the immigration checks are now faster and more comfortable.
Karena kalau dulu itu mungkin ngantrinya sampai jauh banget dan kadang mungkin ada sedikit petugas yang agak lebih lama kerjanya gitu. Saya juga nggak tahu kenapa lebih lama. Cuma kalau ini petugasnya cuma standby. Kalau misalkan kita nggak bisa disuruh pindah ke gate yang baru. Dan itu jauh lebih enak dan lebih cepat sih rasanya. Tadi yang pertama tuh kebetulan ada error. Terus disuruh pindah ke gate baru. Kira-kira butuh waktu di bawah 2 menit lah.
Airport authorities also prepared 13 manual immigration counters to anticipate power outages or network disruptions. See today content reporting from Tangerang, Banten.
So out of those 78 auto gates, 52 arrival auto gates and 16 departure auto gates have been installed at Terminal 3. Now at Terminal 2, you have 10 new auto gates that have been installed, and that is respectively in both arrival and also departure. Now these can be accessed by Indonesian and also by foreigners. All you need to do is, again, this is an integrated face recognition technology with border control management, which, as we've just heard by the minister, is going to take a very rapid and is very fast time for you to go through the immigration. I think we've experienced this in in other parts of the world, countries like Singapore, the closest to us. Now, what you need to do is basically just pull down your mask. I mean, of course, they can't see you. I mean, the camera can't see you, and also hats, whatever accessories that you're wearing. So basically, the pictures that you have in your passport. Now, 10 visa-free ASEAN countries will be required to register through BVK application on the web page to use the auto gate. So welcome to Indonesia, guys.
Yeah, but you need to have the e-passport, right? Not
That's
a
right.
regular passport.
That's right.
So one thing to note.
One thing I'm gonna miss is like all those stamps that you usually get on your passport. You know, everything is automated nowadays. Even like some visa is not on your passport anymore. It's just electronic. So kind of miss on that. Anyway, moving to another story, the chief of the Army Strategic Reserve Command, Muhammad Saleh Mustafa, conducted a rice planting activity on Thursday in Subang, West Java as part of the National Food Security Movement.
This was carried out on a 30-hectare cultivated land belonging to the Army Strategic Reserves Command, local governments, and private sectors. They also set to add another 15 hectares of land in the near future.
The rice planting activity was a collaboration between the Army Strategic Reserves Command, Agricultural Ministry, National Food Agency, and Armed Forces. This activity was joined by Subang Regent Imran.
Previously, in November 2023, the National Food Security Movement was inaugurated by Indonesian Vice President Ma'ruf Amin with the aim of preventing food crisis in Indonesia. The program has been implemented in some areas in West Java.
Dan pada kesempatan hari ini ya latar belakang kami untuk melakukan kegiatan ini ya tadi didorong oleh kebijakan dari pertama pemerintah untuk kita mencapai kembali apa yang disebut dengan swasembada pangan. Ya, kan kita ketahui bahwa pangan ini menjadi sangat krusial saat ini dan di dunia sebagaimana yang disampaikan oleh Bapak Presiden khususnya padi, jagung, ini ada beberapa negara yang sudah melarang ekspor padi sehingga mau tidak mau kita sebagai negara yang katanya dulu kita negara agraris ya pernah swasembada pangan beras khususnya, nah kita ingin mencapai itu.
The family of a victim of a fiber optic cable incident expressed their disappointment over the police final decision. According to the police, the incident was not due to the company's negligence.
Meanwhile, the victim's condition continues to recover after receiving treatment at Kramat Jati Police Hospital in East Jakarta.
Sultan Al-Fatih, the victim of an incident involving a fiber optic cable belonging to PT Bali Tower Indo, continues to recover. He was able to regain his weight and perform some physical activities despite showing limited movements. In addition, the small tube that was attached on Sultan's chest as means of breathing and eating was removed. Sultan was previously entangled on the neck with the fiber optic cable on January the 5th, 2023, while riding a motorcycle in Jakarta. This incident left him mute after his damaged vocal cords were removed via surgery.
Dari saya sendiri sih pribadi udah merasa sangat baik ya, udah bisa beraktivitas kayak normal lagi.
Sama teman-teman sudah main lagi. Masih sering ketemu dengan teman-temannya?
Masih cukup sering juga.
Sering datang ke rumah sini.
Kadang datang ke rumah, kadang main keluar aja nongkrong ngopi gitu-gitu buat ngobrol-ngobrol. Kalau sejauh ini pun kalau makan udah kayak normal lagi, alhamdulillah. Udah nggak ada pantangan apa-apa lagi juga. Sejauh ini palingnya sepedaan sama main basket, terus juga mungkin ada sedikit angkat beban juga. Soalnya mengikuti saran dari dokter fisioterapi juga.
Family members of Sultan expressed their disappointment over the police's final decision on the case, saying that the incident was not caused by the company's negligence. However, they believe that good things are on the way for Sultan.
Dia juga cerita sama saya, dia shock terus kemudian dia menyampaikan ya dia sangat kecewa kok seperti ini ya, terus bagaimana tanggung jawabnya Bali Tower. Akhirnya itulah kita banyak diskusi dengan Sultan, dengan istri saya juga. Saya rasa Pak Kapolda pastinya punya alasan tertentu menyampaikan ini. Ini saya sudah sangat bahagia melihat anak saya Sultan sudah bisa beraktivitas walaupun ada keterbatasan, Mas. Jadi harapan saya, insya Allah saya yakin pihak Bali Tower sendiri bukan orang sembarangan, mereka juga pasti punya nurani dan juga punya empati kemanusiaan yang sangat tinggi. Melihat situasi ini, pasti mereka juga tidak menginginkan ini berkepanjangan, kok, Mas.
Ini nggak ada temen nih yang datang.
Sultan is set to return to university and resume his study in the future while being accompanied by his father. CCD contributor reporting from South Tangerang.
And it's great to see that Sultan is back doing his activities, and also the father, that is just, I think it was just mind-blowing to see what a huge heart that he has, and hopefully everything goes smooth and well for Sultan in the future. In the meantime, we have updates regarding the electoral general campaign on Indonesia Votes. And folks, all three Indonesian presidential pairs conducted campaigning activities on Thursday. Presidential candidate number 1, Anies Baswedan, visited Islamic boarding school and had met with volunteers and coalition parties as well as community leaders in Ciamis and Tasikmalaya, West Java.
Presidential candidate number 2, Prabowo Subianto, attended a dialogue with the Indonesian Journalists Association in Jakarta.
Meanwhile, presidential candidate number 3, Ganjar Pranowo, has been campaigning across Central Java for the last 2 weeks.
Anies Baswedan had made an appearance at Aminkan gathering at Ciamis Islamic Center before meeting with ulamas and leaders of Cipasung Islamic Boarding School, volunteers, coalition parties, and visiting Miftahul Huda Islamic Boarding School.
Anies also conveyed his hopes should he be elected as the president, including cheaper cost of living, easier access to job opportunities, as well as more supply of fertilizers and diesel.
Given the fact that it's been highly inflated for the core commodities for our household across Indonesia. So we would like to address that by fixing the tata niaga, the way we operate our commodity industry. And by doing that, we hope household in Indonesia will spend less money on basic commodities, will be able to save money for the education of their kids and for other activities. So the change is.
Meanwhile, Prabowo Subianto attended a dialogue with the Indonesian Journalists Association at the Press Council in Jakarta.
In his speech, he conveyed that having differences is a common form of democracy and encouraged the public to maintain unity for the sake of the nation's stability.
Prabowo also emphasized his mission in continuing efforts to develop downstream industries while also maintaining the nation's wealth.
Marilah kita semua sadar, apapun ini bukan sesuatu yang jatuh dari langit. Ini yang saya menghimbau. Marilah kita semua sadar, apapun latar belakang kita, apapun visi kita, ya, bahwa kita berbeda itu biasa dalam demokrasi. Perbedaan itu biasa. Baru dengan stabilitas, dengan perdamaian, baru kita bisa membangun. Intinya kita negara sangat kaya, kekayaan kita luar biasa. Ini misi saya, ini perjuangan saya.
On the other side, Ganjar Pranowo has been visiting cities across central Java, including Solo, Boyolali, Wonogiri, to name a few, since December the 27th.
According to the former Central Java governor, Java will remain as an intense battle area in the upcoming election. This has motivated him to embark on a tour across the province to maintain his popularity.
Kita harus menjaga rumah kita sendiri karena kita melihat bahwa banyak paslon lain yang akan konsentrasi juga di area Jawa Tengah, Jawa Timur, Jawa Barat. Waktu makin pendek dan kemudian kita mengkonsolidasikan seluruh kekuatan. Satu, bertemu dengan rakyat. Yang kedua, menyampaikan program Ganjar Mahfud. Dan yang ketiga, latihan nyoblos.
The Indonesian General Election Committee has delivered ballots to over 1.7 million Indonesian voters living abroad on January the 2nd.
Apart from the latest dispute about some of the voting that is already done before scheduled time or the time schedule, let's see how they will cast their votes for this year's Indonesian general elections.
Over 1.7 million Indonesian citizens in 128 countries are registered to vote.
These are the top 20 overseas election committee based on the number of the voters. Number 1, we have Kuala Lumpur with more than 490,000 voters. And on the second, we have Taipei with more than 239,000 voters. And on the third, we have Singapore with less than 96,000 voters. And in America, the leading city, it is Los Angeles with more than 15,000 voters. And in Europe, we have Frankfurt as the leading city with almost 14,000 voters.
There are 3 different mechanisms for Indonesians to cast their votes. Voters can cast their ballots at polling stations on February 14 or between February 4 to 11. They can also use mobile ballot boxes starting from February 4. Other available method is voting by mail from January 2 to February 15. The ballot distributions will be delivered in 2 periods.
Dilakukan secara 2 gelombang. Gelombang pertama adalah PPLN-PPLN yang jauh jangkauannya dari Indonesia, karena terutama untuk surat suara kan yang mencetak atau memproduksi adalah KPU. Kemudian gelombang kedua adalah yang relatif dekat atau terjangkau dari Jakarta atau dari Indonesia.
The number of overseas voters is less than 1% of the total number of voters. In addition to that, voter turnout in 2019 general elections is accounted for 42.5%. Meanwhile, the voter turnout in 2014 is recorded below 50%. On the legislative and presidential elections, the voter turnout was recorded 22% and 35% respectively. Reski Anastor Lutfievan for See Today.
All right, after a quick break, we'll have Caroline set to bring you some sports updates. So what do you have for us today, Carol?
All right, so definitely we have some basketball updates, tennis updates, and of course, if I'm here, we have some NBA updates. This in regards to my team, Lakers. Of course, they're slumping down to the 11th game. We don't know what's happening with them, but we have more of the deets right up after this break. Don't go anywhere. Sports is coming up next.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Untuk ini meet and greet, beruntung sekali Indonesia kedatangan Argentina sang juara dunia. Pep dalam beberapa tahun ke depan kita akan lihat seperti apa, karena ini adalah itu tadi. This is a whole new turf yang baru.
Lo udah memprediksikan kemenangan ini?
Oh, semua orang memprediksikan pasti. Kalau soal memprediksikan,
Chief Coach sepanjang musim ya.
Hi, I'm Cece. Welcome to Tech in Today. Did you know that you can become a music star just with AI? How can a digital human become an idol? Do you know? Now there is a food delivery jetpack. Only on
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru, tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. Like, you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Hello folks, so welcome back to the program. As mentioned before, we have some sports updates. We begin with tennis, where number 3 seed Jelena Ostapenko advanced to the quarterfinals of the Brisbane International after overcoming number 16 seed Karolina Pliskova 6-2, 4-6, 6-3 in 2 hours, 17 minutes on Thursday. Now, both Ostapenko and former world number 1 Pliskova came to the game with 5 wins apiece. However, it was Ostapenko who ended Pliskova's 10-match winning streak at the Brisbane International. Pliskova, who defeated former world number 1 Naomi Osaka in the second round, is a 3-time Brisbane champion, including the 2 most recent competitions, 2019 and 2020. Ostapenko will next face 2-time Australian Open champion Victoria Azarenka. And we still have an update from the Brisbane International matches, and this one is a really interesting one. Now, one of them, of course, when Rafael Nadal was not happy on Thursday as he received a time violation for a late return from the toilet during his match against Jason Kubler. Nadal is having the time of his life with his comeback after almost a year out injured following his hip surgery and extended rehabilitation. The Spaniard beat local hope Jason Kubler 6-1, 6-2 to advance to the quarterfinals, where he will face Jordan Thompson on Friday. But there was one setback for a 37-year-old Spaniard. After taking a break between sets, Nadal received a warning for a time violation from the umpire. He shrugged the incident off, though, and joked about it after the match at his courtside interview.
When you take the toilet break after the first set and you come back and get a time violation. Talk us through that. What happened?
Well, I think it was something strange because I know I have 5 minutes. Honestly, Brisbane is very humid, and I had to change every single piece.
Don't go too far. We don't need to do too much. We get the idea. It's all right.
Takes a while, and then honestly, I in the walkie-talkie, they were calling me 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, half minute, and I came out at the right time. But probably I don't know if the guy who was with me there said a few seconds later to the umpire that I was. He told me 4 seconds later. I don't know. I thought it was on time. Honestly, no. Then he told me I was 4 seconds late. I don't know if it was me. I don't think so in that time, but something happened in the period of time. But I am slow. I know that, and I'm gonna keep trying to improve in 2024.
That's great news. That's great news.
It is summer right there down under in Australia, especially in Brisbane. So, of course, he was drinking a lot of water. And, you know, a guy needs to go to the loo. He needs to go to the loo. Next up, we have some updates from NBA, where Tyrese Haliburton scored 31 points when the Indiana Pacers defeated the Milwaukee Bucks 142-130 on Wednesday night to earn their fifth straight victory. Now, Tyrese Haliburton notched 31 points and 12 assists when the Indiana Pacers scored a 142-130 victory against the Milwaukee Bucks on Wednesday night. Benedict Mathurin added 16 points for the Pacers and helped Indiana end Milwaukee's 15-game home winning streak on Monday. They are now 4-1 against the Bucks this season. On the opposing side, Giannis Antetokounmpo notched 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists for Milwaukee, falling short of his 4th triple-double of the season. Meanwhile, Damian Lillard added 23 points and 5 assists, while Chris Middleton overcame a sprained wrist and sore knee to finish with 19 points and 7 assists. It was Indiana's 5th consecutive victory and their 2nd win over Milwaukee in 3 days.
We still have some minutes to play here in the third and a full fourth quarter left to play.
Meanwhile, we're going to go to the very west, on the west end of West Coast. Now, it was the 6th Heat match without Jimmy Butler due to an irritation of his right foot. But, you know, it doesn't mean that the Heat's lost because they won at CryptoArena.com. And, of course, the losing game to the host, Los Angeles Lakers. Tyler Hero scored 21 points. Duncan Robinson had 11 of his 13 points in the 4th quarter, and the Heat beat the Lakers 110-96. Jamie Jacquez Jr. added 16 points, and Nikola Jovic and Bam Adebayo scored 15 apiece, as all 8 Miami players who saw action scored in double figures. Kevin Love had a season-high 14 rebounds along with 10 points, and Miami was without Butler for the 6th time in 7 games because of irritation in his right foot, and still win against the champion of the in-season tournament. Meanwhile, Anthony Davis had 29 points and 18 rebounds for Los Angeles. Austin Reeves added 24 points, and LeBron James was 6 of 18 from the field and finished with 12 points.
Slam dunk. LeBron quarterbacking line.
Definitely for the Lakers, though, this is just a slumping game now for consecutive games. It was a home court game. You know, hopefully, we were kind of expecting they're going to win. It is just an eye shudder when we watch the game itself. Now, this is the first time a team for this season to shoot worse than 15% from a 3 and turn it over 20 or more times. Even though, you know, Anthony Davis made 21 points, as we just, we gave the remarks to you. But this, again, was a loss for Los Angeles Lakers, 11 games. And then this is between the now until January 27th. We have to see more differences and more W's for the Lakers. Now, to another sports, Lin Kao-yuan made a big upset on the second day at the WTT Men's Finals Doha, and the world number 7 choked his captain Ma Long 3-2 in 5 games after 44 minutes battle in the Lusail Arena, Doha, Qatar.
This victory lifted Lin to the top 4 at this WTT Super event, one of the best results for Lin at the international stage. Lin had the disadvantage of a streak with 7 defeats against world number 3 Ma Long in the international tournament, but he was more quickly to get into form than his captain on the court today. Next, Lin will face world number 1 Fan Zhendong in the semifinals. In men's doubles, Alexis Lebrun and Felix Lebrun won the quarterfinal tie against Pang Yo and Kun and Kwek Izak of Singapore with strike 3 games 3-0. The LeBron brothers took just less than 20 minutes to win the match, and they have already put their eyes on the Olympics, where are to be staged in Paris on their homeland. In the semifinals, the French brothers will face Xiang Peng and Yuan Lishen from China. Fan Zhendong and Wang Chuqin, reigning world champions, also advanced to the semifinals after beating Wang Chungting and Ho Kwan Kit from Hong Kong 3-1 in about 28 minutes. Fan and Wang will face next another pair of China, Lin Gaoyan and Lin Shidong.
And those were the sports updates for right now. We have more later on near the end of the program. Now we're going to have more news coming up from the world of entertainment. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned right here on the C Morning Show. We'll be right back after this break.
All right, guys, let's get into our first update for today.
Meanwhile, a plume of smoke was seen billowing in the distance from Rafah in the Gaza Strip on Saturday, marking the 11th week of humanitarian crisis in Palestine.
Mount Anak Krakatau continues to erupt, spewing volcanic materials up to 300 meters high.
Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that Indonesia has minimized taking that to meet the needs of the 2023 state budget until the end of the year.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different when baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Untuk ini meet and greet, beruntung sekali Indonesia kedatangan Argentina sang juara dunia. Pep dalam beberapa tahun ke depan kita akan lihat seperti apa, karena ini adalah itu tadi. This is a whole new turf yang baru.
Lo udah memprediksikan kemenangan ini?
Oh, semua orang memprediksikan pasti. Kalau soal memprediksikan,
Cipto tiap panjang musim ya.
Hi, I'm Cece. Welcome to Tech In Today. Did you know that you can become a music star just with AI? How can a digital human become an idol? Do you know? Now there is a food delivery jetpack. Only on Tech In Today.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru, tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. Like, you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to the CU Morning Show. It's time for some entertainment updates. Indonesian singer Putri Aryani and Norwegian disc jockey Alan Walker are set to release their collaborative single titled Who I Am. Let's take a look.
Besides Putri, Alan Walker has also invited Norwegian singer Peder Elias to join in this collaboration. Meanwhile, Putri Aryani announced this collaboration on her Instagram account, revealing that Who I Am is released on January 4th.
She also shared a snippet of Who I Am, showcasing her distinctive and smooth voice. In response to her post, Alan Walker and Peter Elias expressed their excitement about working with the winner of the 2023 America's Got Talent.
All right, surely we're very much proud of Putri Aryani, and her voice is amazing, very angelic, and very humble person as well. And okay, let's move on to our next update from entertainment. After 12 years of working in the music industry, Noah recently announced that they will be taking a break from performing as a group. Why?
On Noah's Instagram's account, the band wished their fans and crew a happy new year and thanked them for their support and gratitude. It is unclear if the band will make a comeback later this year.
Noah, formerly known as Peter Pan, has been part of the Indonesian music landscape since the 2000s. The fans, called Sahabat Noah or Friends of Noah, are spread out throughout Indonesia, Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, and Hong Kong. Aww.
But do you realize it's been 12 years since they become a Noah, so, you know.
Yeah, and I don't know, the music industry in Indonesia, I think they have been very big here, right?
Yeah.
And they've been performing live shows, and we all love the songs. We all love the album.
I mean, as far as I know, they still fill a stadium like every time they do concert, like Malaysia, I guess Hong Kong, like some of the concerts, people are still filling up wherever they're performing. So
yeah, it's saddening to know.
And but hopefully there's gonna be a comeback. I don't
hopefully.
know. I don't think they should change their name again. They should
just stay with Noah.
We understand what happened with Peter Pan, change it to Noah, so let's keep it.
Rebranding, rebranding. But yeah, their stage act was amazing. I think.
Do you remember during the COVID time when nobody can do concerts, so they did a concert where everybody stay in their cars, and then
I remember that
Ariel
one.
used a roller skate and
I remember that one. And he was the ultimate entertainer right there.
I bet, like, he's physical and have to sing at the same time.
And very charismatic as well.
Speaking from experience, moving on, a trailer for a new slasher film, Mickey Mouse Trap, was released Monday, the day that Disney's copyright on the Steamboat Willie, the earliest depiction of Mickey Mouse, expired in the United States.
What experience?
Mickey Mouse has landed a new role, a horror movie villain. At least 2 films starring an early version of the Walt Disney Company's famous mascot were announced this week as the copyright for Disney's 1928 animated short film Steamboat Willie entered the public domain for the first time. Released on Monday, a teaser trailer for Mickey Mouse Trap, a live-action film directed by James Bailey, depicts a group of friends who are terrorized by someone in a mask of the smiling rodent at the carnival. A young woman is thrown a birthday party at the amusement arcade, but things quickly fall apart when the group of parties encounter a knife-wielding murderer. Mickey Mouse Trap, which does not have a release date confirmed, stars Sophie McIntosh, Callum Sewick, Allegra Noshita, Ben Harris, Demir Kovic, Mackenzie Mills, and Nick Piscapek.
Blood all over the jungle gym.
Blood.
Yes.
Okay, do you want to watch that one?
I'm good. I'm actually, they were talking about like slasher movie the other day.
Slasher.
I'm not a big fan of
You're not a big fan.
horror or slasher
Really?
movies. Yeah, that's not my, how about you? Do you have any favorites or?
I have some of my favorites. I like slasher. I like horror movies. No, not the type of horror with ghosts and spiritual stuff, but I like horrors like thriller.
Right.
With slasher and all the psychological thriller. I love them. My favorite is Saw.
Oh, okay.
One of which, Saw and Hostel. You should watch them. All right, now speaking of movie recommendations for our viewers who consider themselves as horror movie enthusiasts, Night Swim is finally out on Wednesday in theaters across Indonesia.
The horror movie was directed and produced by James Wan, who previously worked on Insidious and The Conjuring. Night Swim was adapted from a short movie that was released in 2014 with the same name by Rod Blockhurst and Bryce McGuire.
Night Swim tells the story of Ray Waller, a former baseball player who was forced to retire early due to illness. And together with his small family, they moved to a new house with an abandoned swimming pool. Ray intends to renovate it so it can be used.
One day, his children, Izzy and Elliot, experience something strange while swimming at night. The family then discover a dark secret from the house's past that plunges them into tense state of terror. I'm glad the title is Night Swim, because I rather just swim and during the daytime. So I'm gonna be good.
It's not a sexy movie, it's a horror movie. Night Swim. All right, I don't think this is my cup of tea, but maybe I'll watch it in a broad daylight.
With all the windows open, with the small screen on your phone.
Small screen, I'm sorry. But if you like horror movie, maybe you can watch it this week on theaters, right?
All right, well, that's wrap for entertainment for this hour. Stay tuned. See Today Business is coming up next after the break.
The beauty and the excitement of being there.
Indescribable to lose such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we? Come on in. We found them.
Where people come and go.
A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
A group of volunteers operating in the south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in
cuman dia yang ngerti gimana cara rilis the stress gitu. Memain.
Suatu kan kakak tahu itu hari di Magelang. Iya kan udah ditanya juga di situ.
Jangan ini kan beda acaranya.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Hi, I'm Cece. Welcome to Tech In Today. Do you know? Now there is a food delivery jetpack.
I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru, tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. Like, you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
welcome to another edition of See Today Business. As temperature rise and greenhouse gas emission increase, a new technology may soon make it possible not only to reduce carbon dioxide emissions, but also to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Carbon capture and storage is a technology widely believed to have the potential to reduce climate emissions and meet climate change targets by decarbonizing industries and facilitating the net removal of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Let's take a look.
According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, carbon capture and storage, or CCS, is a process of capturing carbon dioxide, or CO2, from industrial and energy-related sources, where it is later separated, compressed, and transported to a storage site for long-term isolation from the atmosphere. In theory, this technology will allow many industrial processes that emit carbon dioxide to be decarbonized and national climate targets to be met. According to a 2018 report published by the IPCC, to meet the Paris Agreement's goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, will require a removal of between 100 billion to 1 trillion tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere before the year of 2100. This carbon dioxide removal includes methods such as afforestation and reforestation, land restoration, soil carbon sequestration, bioenergy with CCS, direct air capture and storage, enhanced weathering and ocean alkalinization.
Carbon dioxide removal is taking carbon dioxide that is already in the atmosphere and either storing it in biomass and soils or using so-called direct air capture technology. Storing it in soil and biomass using forest or crop management practices is referred to as ecological carbon dioxide storage, and direct air capture uses chemical or physical processes to extract carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and store it underground. This is also referred to geologic storage.
However, relying solely on trees and forestry to remove carbon dioxide is not enough, as they can only absorb 1/3 of the emissions caused by human emissions from the industry and agriculture sector. Moreover, the carbon stored in these trees can only be saturated for a short time, as CO2 stored in these trees will be released back again to the atmosphere once these trees decay or burned. Despite the promise of CCS technology, the commercial application of CCS remains very limited and expensive. The energy sector alone has spent more than $10 billion in developing the system with little success.
I mean, the main source of CO2 into the atmosphere is burning of fossil fuel. We burn coal, oil, and gas. Altogether, they represent more than 35, 36, 37 billion tons of CO2 being emitted every year.
Wood Mackenzie, an energy consulting firm, predicts that global investment in CCS will exceed $150 billion in this decade. Early adopters of CCS systems have paid in the neighborhood of $1,000 per ton of carbon dioxide removed. At that price, removing 1 gigaton of carbon dioxide will require $1 trillion, and removing 10 gigatons of carbon dioxide would be equal to 1/10 of the global economy.
Storing carbon dioxide in ecosystems such as forests and soils is currently a low-cost solution to remove CO2. However, direct air capture is very expensive.
Furthermore, effectively utilizing carbon dioxide removal requires avoiding fossil fuels emissions. That means that a shift to renewable energy sources is still key.
We now move to the automotive sector. According to the research firm Bloomberg NAV, electric vehicles, or EVs, will account for more than a quarter of the car sales by 2025. This comes as government and consumer push for electrification to reduce carbon emission. The push for electrification turned in now changing the way cars are made and shaking up the auto industry.
Research firm Bloomberg NEF has predicted that electric vehicles or EVs will account for more than a quarter for all car sales by 2025. By some estimates, about 3 out of every 4 cars sold worldwide will be fully electric by 2040. As the industry moves closer to an electric future, from affordable models to luxury vehicles, various automakers have been showing off their latest design at auto shows around the world. Globally, the demand for electric vehicles is on the rise. In the United States, sales have reached record levels, accounting for 9% of total sales. While this figure suggests huge growth, it still lags behind other countries such as China with 33%, Germany with 35%, and Norway where 90% of cars sold are EVs.
Government is pushing for EVs because of carbon emissions, reducing carbon emissions as per the global COP agreements.
The relative simplicity of electric vehicles compared to internal combustion engines have also lowered barriers to entry and introduced new entrants and competitors that are challenging many established automakers. Moreover, a combination of ambitious government zero emissions targets as well as vehicle tax incentives and subsidies have played a role in shaping customers' decisions to adopt electric vehicles. Another growing trend in the electrification of cars is that it is also allow many customers to give new life to their old cars by converting them from old gasoline engines to fully electric rides.
Some people are doing it because they really do care about the environment and that's their prime motivator. Some people, they've had the car in the family a long time, it needs a new lease of life.
The transitions from internal combustions to electric has proven to be a challenge for many established automakers, as unlike internal combustion engines, batteries, and electric motors found in many EVs today are changing the competitive landscape in the industry. Car brands today are no longer compared by the engines. Instead, they will be differentiated primarily by their overt experience, suggesting a change of focus from hardware to software. With batteries and motors, many of the features found in EVs will rely on software as it controls not just performance, but also infotainment features, driving experience, and also safety.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, especially Gen AI, was a big deal in 2023 with many major companies joining in on this massive trend that has caused waves in the tech industry and beyond. But what will 2024 look like for AI, and what major development can we expect? Will we finally be able to hire AI-powered robots to perform menial tasks for us? According to some experts, AI is indeed moving in that direction, as 2024 could see significant strides forward in AI-powered robots that can receive instruction from human language.
Artificial intelligence began to make robots more human-like than ever in 2023. An AI chatbot, ChatGPT, was behind humanoid robot Ameka conversation skills. The robot is built by Engineered Arts, a UK-based company that designs robots for tasks that involve interacting with humans, such as helping visitors in amusement parks. Desdemona was another humanoid robot presented in 2023. It is designed to be an AI pop star and is powered by an AI large language model, or LLM, which enables it to mimic human writing by processing a large database of text. In Beijing, Chinese company X Robots showcased products that have human-like skin, facial expression, and joints that allow flexible movements. The facial expressions are based on biological information collected from human faces, and the robot's movements are a reflection of human actions, captured and analyzed by artificial intelligence and algorithms. Elsewhere in China, Fourier Intelligence announced it was behind the first mass-produced humanoid robot. The company hoped to release 100 units of the GR1, mainly targeting robotic R&D labs. The robot can be programmed to sit, stand, jump, and use tools and utensils. 2023 saw a major strides in the development of AI and humanoid robots. Some experts, including the director of Seven's Institute for Artificial Intelligence, Dr. Brandon Englert, believes that the AI industry could see even further developments in this field this year.
We're now communicating with robots using language. And it's very exciting seeing us essentially be able to prompt a robot in plain English, ask it to perform a complex task. And in many cases, it's able to perform that task successfully. We still have a long way to go before this is a completely reliable, mature technology, but I think in 2024, we're really going to see that evolving. And we're going to see increasing robotics capabilities that involve human language and conversational instructions provided by human operators.
In addition to language capabilities, developments in enabling AR are expected to happen in 2024 to direct complex physical movements in humanoid robots.
Does AI allow robots to walk or manipulate or move with more dexterity or agility? That is kind of a frontier we have not fully conquered yet. I would say that lies ahead for 2024 and future years, because that really involves bringing the AI tools that we have now into a physical domain where they have to help control and move physical systems governed by Newton's laws, which they themselves don't fully understand.
The global market value for the humanoid robot industry reached $257 million in 2021 and is forecasted to grow 21% by 2028. Meanwhile, the market size value of the generative or Gen AI industry reached $10 billion in 2023 and is forecasted to soar to $100.5 billion by 2030. AI is also projected to add value to various industries. According to McKinsey, Gen AI alone could increase corporate profits by up to $4.4 trillion a year to various sectors, including banking, high-tech, and life sciences.
Now talking about AI, Microsoft just recently announced the biggest change to the to their keyboard in nearly 3 decades, that they're adding an introduction of an artificial AI key. So a new keyboard can be, the key will allow you to access Copilot, of course, Microsoft AI tool on Windows 11. What can you do with that? Of course, it can help you with searching, writing your emails, and on the new Windows 11 function. So this is one additional, the AI gonna be on the 2024. That's a wrap for See Today Business, but we'll bring you some latest updates again from around the world when we return on the See Morning Show on See Today.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Untuk ini meet and greet, beruntung sekali Indonesia kedatangan Argentina sang juara dunia. Pep dalam beberapa tahun ke depan kita akan lihat seperti apa, karena ini adalah itu tadi. This is a whole new turf yang baru.
Lo udah memprediksikan kemenangan ini?
Oh, semua orang memprediksikan pasti. Kalau soal memprediksikan,
Cipto tiap panjang musim ya.
The beauty and the excitement of being there, indescribable to lose such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we?
Come on in. We found them.
Where people come and go.
A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
A group of volunteers operating in the south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Hi, I'm Cece. Welcome to Tech in Today. Do you know? Now there is a food delivery jetpack.
Cuman dia yang ngerti gimana cara rilis the stress gitu. Pemain.
Pas waktu kan kakak tahu itu hari di Magelang. Iya kan udah ditanya juga di situ.
Ya kan ini kan beda acaranya.
Hello and welcome back to the C Morning Show, and it's time for us to bring you some international update. An airstrike on the logistical support headquarters of an Iran-backed militia in central Baghdad on Thursday morning killed a high-ranking militia commander.
It was not immediately clear who had carried out the strike.
Officials with the U.S. military and embassy in Baghdad did not immediately respond to requests for comment. A coalition of militias that is normally under the control of the Iraqi military announced in a statement that its deputy head of operation in Baghdad, Mustaq Talib al-Saidi, or Abu Taqwa, had been killed as a result of brutal American aggression.
The strike killed 2 people and wounded 5, and heavy security was deployed around the location, and journalists were not allowed to approach the targeted building. Iraqi warplanes could be seen flying overhead. Since the outbreak of the Israel-Hamas war on October the 7th, a group of Iranian-backed militias calling itself the Islamic Resistance in Iraq has carried out more than 100 attacks on bases housing U.S. troops in Iraq and Syria.
The group has said the strikes are in retaliation for Washington's support of Israel in the war that has killed more than 20,000 people in Gaza, and they aim to push U.S. forces out of Iraq.
Now, speaking about Israel, the military has told residents of central Gaza to head south, but even as the displaced have poured in, Rafah has not been spared.
Israel's repeated attacks by air, land, and sea in Gaza has killed more than 22,300 people to date. 2/3 of them are women and children.
From the latest scene, an Israeli drone strike has killed at least an 8-year-old child and wounded others in the southern Gaza Strip city of Rafah. His father, injured mother, and other family members wept over the child's body at Al-Najr Hospital, where the mother and her other son were receiving treatment. The Al-Bakri family had already fled from Al-Shati camp, west of Gaza City in the central part of the Strip, seeking safety in Rafah. They were sheltering in a store when it was hit by the strike.
كنا نازلين من معسكر الشاطئ اجينا على حي السلام قعدنا في حاصل احنا 17 نفر في الحاصل واستفقنا في يوم وليلة اللي هو هيك القصف كله صار فوق ورا بعض. لا هو ابن اختي استشهد وهي ابنها متغرز وهي متغرزة.
The Israeli genocide on Gaza has displaced some 85% of Gaza's population from their homes, forcing hundreds of thousands of people into overcrowded shelters or teeming tent camps in Israeli designated safe areas that the military has nevertheless bombed. According to the United Nations, a quarter of Gaza's population face starvation as Israeli restrictions and heavy offensive hinder aid delivery.
Tens of thousands of residents who were affected by the recent earthquake in Ishikawa Prefecture, Japan, are still suffering from a lack of electricity and water.
The death toll in Ishikawa Prefecture had risen to 78 as of Thursday morning, with 44 fatalities found in the city of Wajima.
Nearly 95,000 households suffer from water outages in several parts of Ishikawa due to damaged pipes.
According to the Hokuriku Electric Power Transmission and Distribution Company, around 29,500 households in Ishikawa Prefecture were suffering from power outages as of midnight on Thursday.
Japan's major communication service provider have reported ongoing communications barrier in some areas around Ishikawa Prefecture.
Additionally, local news said on Wednesday that more than 110,500 households in the prefectures of Ishikawa, Toyama, and Niigata are still facing water outages. According to local authorities, more than 33,400 residents are seeking shelter outside the area.
Damaged roads and infrastructure, as well as remote locations, have hampered rescue and aid delivery efforts. According to the Japanese media, authorities are still investigating the full extent of the disaster, and as of Wednesday, additionally, about 750 residents in Suzu and Nanao are isolated as roads were cut off.
The government also said that at least 100 hectares of lands in Ishikawa were flooded by tsunami following the series of earthquakes on Monday. Authorities are now anticipating for the true extent of the flooding to be larger than initial estimations. Japanese Finance Ministers Sunichi Suzuki and Japan Exchange Group CEO Hiromi Yamaji offered their condolences to victims of the recent earthquake in the Sea of Japan during the 2024 Tokyo Stock Exchange opening ceremony on Tuesday.
A moment of silence was observed in the memory of the dozens who were killed in a series of earthquakes that hit Western Japan on Monday.
Asian stocks plunged on Thursday as pessimism took hold in Wall Street after a broad slide marked the first day of trading in the Tokyo Exchange.
まずは1月1日、新年早々に発生した石川県能登地方の大地震により亡くなられた方々とそのご家族、またその被災地に支援物資を輸送する途上での事故で亡くなられた方々とそのご家族に対し謹んでお悔やみ申し上げますとともに、被害に遭われた皆様に心よりお見舞い申し上げます。
And furthermore, in this earthquake, the Japan Meteorological Agency, GMA, initially issued a major tsunami warning. Its first since 2011 earthquake and tsunami that had struck northeast Japan that had killed 20,000 people. Now, again, for this quake itself, it was known as the strongest quake in the region more than 4 decades. This in regards to, or according to the U.S. Geological Survey, And the Japanese government said of last week that it had ordered more than 97,000 people in 9 prefectures on the western coast of Japan main island, Honshu, to evacuate. They were set to spend the night in sports hall and school gymnasium, commonly used as evacuation center in emergency, and this has been ongoing now for about 3 days. Now, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida told reporters that he had instructed search and rescue teams to do everything possible to save lives, even though access to quake-hit areas was difficult due to the blockage of areas. The Imperial Household Agency also stated that following the disaster, it would cancel Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako's slated New Year appearance on Tuesday.
All right. Now from Japan, let's move over to Peru, where the Peruvian Bird Records Committee claimed to have the most avian species in the world on Thursday during a ceremony in Lima.
The Peruvian Foreign Trade and Tourism Minister Juan Carlos Matthews headed the announcement at the Villa Swamps Wildlife Refuge in the capital.
The Peruvian Bird Records Committee claims to have the most avian species in the world. This was announced by the Peruvian Minister of Foreign Trade and Tourism, Juan Carlos Matthews, at the Villa Swamps Wildlife Refuge in the capital. During the presentation, Matthews emphasized that 25% of foreign tourism in Peru is due to the international interest in bird watching.
El turismo, con todas las dificultades y todas las críticas, ha crecido 25% aproximadamente en el turismo receptivo y cerca de 29% en el turismo interno. Y dentro de los segmentos nuevos, este es uno que tiene que ser fortalecido. Si lo sacamos en números, representa ya hoy casi el 25% en lo que significa turismo del exterior que viene acá solamente al tema de avistamiento de aves.
Birdwatching enthusiasts flocks to Villa's marshes every year, including Spanish birdwatcher David Belmonte, who considers Peru a Garden of Eden on Earth.
El Perú es de alguna manera un jardín del Edén en la tierra, ¿no? Lo tenemos absolutamente todo: Amazonía, Andes, bosques tropicales, la corriente de Humboldt. Me parece que es el destino ideal para cualquier persona que esté interesada en observar aves.
Oh, that is incredible. To know that Peru is the #1 country in the world for birds is just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
According to the committee, the recent discovery of 19 unrecorded species puts the country's total at 1,879. The committee maintains an official list of birds of the country following the South American Classification Committee criteria.
All right, with that, we're going for a break. After the break, we'll discuss the 2024 season of the Indonesian Basketball League on our first talk show of the day, so stay with us.
Dia yang ngerti gimana cara rilis the stress gitu. Pemain.
Pas waktu kan kakak tahu itu hari di Magelang. Iya kan udah ditanya juga di situ.
Ya kan ini kan beda acaranya. Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
All right, guys, let's get into our first update for today.
Meanwhile, a plume of smoke was seen billowing in the distance from Rafah in the Gaza Strip on Saturday, marking the 11th week of humanitarian crisis in Palestine.
Mount Anak Krakatau continues to erupt, spewing volcanic materials up to 300 meters high.
Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that Indonesia
has minimized taking that to meet the needs of the 2023 state budget until the end of the year.
Untuk ini meet and greet, beruntung sekali Indonesia kedatangan Argentina sang juara dunia. Pep dalam beberapa tahun ke depan kita akan lihat seperti apa, karena ini adalah itu tadi. This is a whole new turf yang baru.
Lo udah memprediksikan kemenangan ini?
Oh, semua orang memprediksikan pasti. Kalau soal memprediksikan,
Cipto tiap sepanjang musim ya.
The beauty and the excitement of being there, indescribable to lose such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we?
Come on in. We found them.
Where people come and go. A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty only on Indonesia.
Untuk ini meet and greet, beruntung sekali Indonesia kedatangan Argentina sang juara dunia. Pep dalam beberapa tahun ke depan kita akan lihat seperti apa, karena ini adalah itu tadi. This is a whole new turf yang baru.
Lo udah memprediksikan kemenangan ini?
Oh, semua orang memprediksikan pasti. Kalau soal memprediksikan,
Cipto tiap sepanjang musim ya.
Get into our first update for today.
Meanwhile, a plume of smoke was seen billowing in the distance from Rafah in the Gaza Strip on Saturday, marking the 11th week of humanitarian crisis in Palestine.
Mount Anak Krakatau continues to erupt, spewing volcanic materials up to 300 meters high. Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that Indonesia has minimized taking that to meet the needs of the 2023 state budget until the end of the year.
Not the maximum.
All right, everyone. Good morning and welcome back to the program right here on the C Morning Show. We're not going to talk about the loss of Lakers now with the loss streak, but we're going to talk about something else. This is the Indonesian Basketball League. This season is, it's coming up very soon, and we're all very excited right here in Indonesia.
And this season has not only changed its format from last season, but also the appearance of the former NBA players at the club. So for the latest updates, let's invite the IBL main directors, Yunas Miradiarsha, who will explain to us more on the new season. Good morning to you. Thank you for coming to see today.
It's always a pleasure. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me again.
Of course.
Let's get into this. So there will be many changes in 2024 IBL season. So one of which is the home-away format. Can you explain more on this and why are we moving to this format?
Yeah, actually this is long-term planning since 2019, I believe, but it was postponed because of COVID in 2021-2022. So this format, we want to push clubs more business mindset. As we know, the league is growing in terms of market and also as the business, but we need also all teams also growing as a business.
Yeah.
Home format we know in football and also we know in the NBA. It will push them not only play on the game, but how to leverage the club, the value of the club, the fans to become a good business. That's why we moved the format. Before we call it series, now we call it home and away format.
Yeah, so it's definitely like the NBA right now. And if you know, people will fly all over, especially during the playoffs, in regards to wherever, whoever the teams that is in the playoffs itself. Like CryptoArena.com, that is such a money power for Los Angeles, for the city of Los Angeles. It's going to help the region and the city itself.
I love how the reason is money.
Yeah, because the championship is important, the achievement is important, national team is important, but how to create this industry is the business, right? So we want to having this business is more sustainable.
That's right. And it's sustainable also for the league, also to the future.
Yes.
Now, Mas Junas, in regards to, we see the home away now is implemented in IBL. We're going to talk about the playoff season itself. So why don't you think that's like, why is still best of 3 right now? Why is it not like the NBA best of 5 or best of 7?
Yes.
More games.
Yeah. Interesting, but like my explanation before, if the teams already having good business with this home away format,
Yeah.
of course they will need more games. But otherwise, it's only a loss in terms of business. So if we run this business, this home away format, and the result is good, having best of 5 or
Right.
having more games, best of 7, it will create more money for the clubs. That's more important. So it's a long steps. We think about it, best of 5, best of 7. If this format running well with the clubs, or maybe we'll have best of 5 or best of 7.
That's right, because we don't know who's going to be, a part of the playoffs too. I mean, if it's a club right here from Jakarta, we know there's a lot of, the people that's already known about basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
But this has had to generate inclusively about basketball throughout Indonesia.
Yes.
Now, one of the things that bring people to the game is like you want to see some foreign players, some former NBA players. So, what changed in 2024, and then what can we expect from?
Home away is one of our innovation in 2024. Besides, we have new rules for imports. Previous season is only 2 imports per team.
Okay.
One can play on the court. Now they can have 3. 2 playing at the same time in the court.
Wow.
And then we'll have a naturalized player, heritage player, or what we call half-blood.
Yes.
It's going to be more exciting for the teams and, of course, for the fans. And how the teams can pick the foreign is not through the draft anymore. Before, through the IBL draft.
Right.
Now, each team can pick any preferred players they need, they want. And when we're talking about home and away, how to bring more people to the stadium, to the gym, right? And if the teams have favorite players, well-known players, NBA players, I believe it'll create more fans to come to the stadium, and it'll be good for the teams.
Definitely, and also good for the players, also the local players. Because let's talk about this, Mas Junas, because we're going to have NBA players, we have naturalized players. I mean, it's good if the team or the club itself could find someone like, the captain or Arki, right? I mean, he's Indonesian there. He doesn't have to be naturalized. But we know that when naturalized player, basically, they're probably born and raised somewhere else. I mean, they're very accustomed with basketball. They know it's a part of their nature. So it's very different than the local players here.
Yeah.
What do you think with these NBA players, foreign players, naturalized players would elevate the game itself and also our players?
Yeah, of course, not only the game, but the culture, the mindset. We know Indonesians have to learn more about basketball in Asia and of course in the world.
Yeah.
So having a world-class player in Indonesia will bring our local players into the next level. That's the most important. If people only see 2 hours in the game, but actually from having these players, we can see from the practice how they can live together. That's the culture will transfer. That's most important. So, in bigger perspective, this sports will be live up because there's a knowledge transfer between them.
Yeah, and the mentality is also very different. If we see people or players from abroad, usually they play almost every day. Like they would bring their ball everywhere they go. It's very different than here.
Not only they play every day, but like there are a lot of more challenges. Like there are more people who's playing with them. So like you need to step up. Like every day you play, you want to be better and better. Like at the same time, that challenges is not on your face. Like I mean, not only in the U.S. Like I lived in the Philippines before, and like they just
of course. players.
If they can play every second, they're not gonna sleep with that. They're gonna sleep with their ball.
Little America right there. Of course, let's have basketball as a part of Indonesian culture, and that's why we're now also joined online by Mike Henry, a former NBA player from the Memphis Grizzlies, who is currently a member of the Satria Muda Pertamina Jakarta team. Good morning, Mike. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, Mike. Hey.
All right, so we do have a little audio difficulties right now. We're going to have Mike. Okay, we hear you. So welcome to Indonesia and welcome to your team, Satria Muda. So what do you think about, how did you find out, or how would you first notice about Indonesian Basketball League? Mike.
Well, I first noticed my agent, he contacted me about the team, and I did my research on the Indonesian League and the city that I was going to, and I found some interesting, I got some interesting facts about the league and the team, and I decided to come. It looked competitive, and I saw that they were making all the changes with the rules and the players that were coming to the league, and I decided that was a good place.
So coming in from the United States, well, from NBA, coming into Indonesia, what will be the challenges that you see that joining with this club or Indonesian basketball overall?
Well, I mean, the time adjustment, for sure. It'll be in touch. But probably just getting accustomed to my teammates and the players and how the officials will officiate the game. That'll probably be the biggest roadblock to get over.
You know, and also we were asking Pak Junas right here in regards to how basketball right now is just emerging as a culture, you know, as the main sport or the sport that, you know, the people are into in Indonesia. How do you see with you, and not only you, there's a former NBA player that is joining also the league on this upcoming season, could change, you know, it could change the platform of basketball here in the country?
For sure, we raised the level with the local players because we play all the time, and you know, iron sharpens iron, so they'll naturally just get better and be more competitive and gain the knowledge of the game. So I think it's a big benefit to the league.
All right. So since the season games haven't started yet, can you see the potential that our local basketball player may have?
Yeah, they work extremely hard, and they're hungry to get better. So I think that's the starting point in any project that you want to start from. So I have really good confidence in the local players and raising their talent level.
Definitely, it's great to have you on board, though, Mike. Again, this is your first time coming to Indonesia. Welcome to Jakarta. How do you like, I mean, let's not talk about basketball. I want to know more about, you know, what do you think about our country? What do you think about the current capital city now, Mike?
Well, we've been mostly just practicing, so I haven't gotten a chance to explore all the way yet. So I've been the great mall that's right by me. You know, that's a fantastic mall. But hopefully, when we get some free time, I'll for sure go explore some more.
Definitely, Mike.
Especially food, you have to try a bunch of food right here, and try to pick up some Indonesian language while you're here.
I know, and that is first for, you know, coming to a new country, and definitely right here to Indonesia. Mike Henry, thank you so much. Good luck to you, buddy,
thanks,
right
Mike.
here on the Indonesian Basketball League for the 2024 season.
Good luck.
We'll see you on the court, and we'll see you soon. Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.
Oh, so everyone, it seems like all the NBA players right now, Mas Junas, are going straight to their teams, start going to practices and whatnot. Didn't have any time, Mike was saying that didn't have any time to explore.
The season will start by next week, January.
That's right. Yeah, and some of them just came to Indonesia just a couple of weeks ago? Or?
Yes, mid of December.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. Like, they have to gel. There's more time for them to gel with their own team itself.
So you guys gonna kick off next week? Is there anything? Are you guys gonna continue throughout February during the election, and then like?
No, so we'll start on January 13. We have to start on February 4th because the election.
Right.
Yes.
And then we restart again on early of March.
So right before Ramadan.
Yeah, Ramadan we keep still playing.
Okay.
With this home and away format, we play after Ramadan's break.
Okay,
Ah,
there
okay.
you go. So there's no installing right there. And there's just so many things that is happening, Mas Junas, with Indonesian Basketball League for this new season. We heard you're also collaborating with Japanese Basketball League for the G League. Can you explain of the collaboration?
Yes, it's important for us. I mean, as the league is growing, now we're entering the 21st season. If we're talking about NBA, they're already established more than 75 years. Philippines, more than 50 years, I guess, the league. So we need to learn more with the league who already run the format like home and away, what it looks like, what is the result. Japan is having quite similar with us in terms of sports. For example, the basketball is not their number one sports. Similar like here, we have football, badminton, basketball. Also in Japan, they have baseball, football, and basketball. And they're restructuring the league 7 years ago. They're using home and away format. They're using more imports. They're recreating the value of clubs and how to grow the fans, and we need to learn more from them. Because the most important is the shifting mindset for us, for the league, for the teams, how they run the teams. Not only important to play the game, but how to create a more better valuation for the clubs, how to grow with the fans, and then having a good business. So it's more like transferring knowledge. If you're talking about Mike Henry, they're transferring their knowledge to the local players, right? We're transferring the knowledge from Japan to here in Indonesia.
Yeah, and Mas Junas, during our interview right now, I think you've mentioned a couple of times about business because again, sports is all about business, and you have to grow. If you want to grow the game, then you have to grow the business. In regards to this, I want to ask about the club owners. How do they foresee this new season? Do they like the new regulations or whatnot? Salary cap? How are you all going to kind of like, trying to, put everyone on the same page?
Yeah, there's always a pro cons of any new regulation because we are not having this before. Everything is new, right?
Yes.
But this plan is not like several months ago, let's do home and away for this.
Let's do it right.
We already talking about this since 2019. We have a mid and long-term blueprint at that time, and we already explained to the club. It's tough because the investment is getting higher, the cost is getting higher, but I believe with this format, the opportunity of having more revenue is for having more business is there. So if we can catch up the business revenue for the clubs, I believe create more sustainable business for us as an industry and also for the clubs.
That's right.
Can you give me an example of what kind of resistance that some of the club owners have with the new regulation?
Yeah, of course, like I told you, the investment, because the cost for having this home away format is not easy. Not for us, not for the league. For example, before all operation, all the games is running by us, by the league. The teams come, play, and then go home.
Yeah.
Now they have to think about how running the game, how running the event, how to create the sportainment side.
That's right. That's right.
And how to create not only having the game, having a good game, but how to create loyalty for the fans.
That's right.
Talking about fans engagement, it's not easy for them.
Yeah.
But that's why in the past 1 year, we also having lots of workshop with them, transferring knowledge.
That's great.
How to create a game director for the clubs, marketing side, ticketing side.
Yes.
So we're learning this together.
That's right. It's like you're watching an NBA game, right? You have the again, back to Lakers, but you have the girls.
We know you're the fans.
I mean, and if we go to FIBA World Cup right here in Arena, Indonesia, I mean, during those, those break time, you will see a lot of entertainment, and I think that's how they have to engage. The clubs have to engage, and then that's going to bring loyalty by the people that loves basketball and the people of the city.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and the home away gonna give you the home pride, like you actually playing home, and then that's coming home.
Yeah, that's why we have a rule since 3 years ago. Each team should represent one city.
Yes.
Before they can have any names without a city, because this engagement is college, high school, the engagement is there, right?
That's right.
For professional, the engagement is on their city.
That's right. Yes, just how LA Nation right here. Mas Yunus, thank you very much for coming. It's always a pleasure, and good luck for the new season. It is going to be a big spectacle. It is the pinnacle, I think, for the Indonesian Basketball League now going to 21 years running, and this is a new emerging horizon for the basketball industry right here in Indonesia. Thank you very much, Mas Yunus.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking.
All right, so everyone, we're taking a quick break right now, but when we return, we have also updates from around Southeast Asia. Don't go anywhere.
The beauty and the excitement of being there.
Indescribable to lose such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we? Come on in. We found them.
Where people come and go.
A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru, tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. Like, you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Hi, I'm Cece. Welcome to Tech In Today. Did you know that you can become a music star just with AI? How can a digital human become an idol? Do you know? Now there is a food delivery jetpack. Only on Tech In Today.
Untuk ini meet and greet, beruntung sekali Indonesia kedatangan Argentina sang juara dunia. Pep dalam beberapa tahun ke depan kita akan lihat seperti apa, karena ini adalah itu tadi. This is a whole new turf yang baru.
Lo udah memprediksikan kemenangan ini?
Oh, semua orang memprediksikan pasti. Kalau soal memprediksikan,
Cipto tiap panjang musim ya.
All right, guys, let's get into our first update for today.
Meanwhile, a plume of smoke was seen billowing in the distance from Rafah in the Gaza Strip on Saturday, marking the 11th week of humanitarian crisis in Palestine.
Mount Anak Krakatau continues to erupt, spewing volcanic materials up to 300 meters high.
Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that Indonesia has minimized taking that to meet the needs of the 2023 state budget until the end of the year.
Welcome back to the C Morning Show, folks. Let's see now what's making headlines across Southeast Asia. 6 shells fired by military junta on Tuesday morning destroyed parts of the Kowloon marketplace in Cambodia at 9 a.m. local time. Sources varies on the death tolls, ranging from 2 to 6 lives with an age range of 18 to 55. Local sources cited that the Junta Infantry Battalion 120 base in Munto Town is responsible for the attack. The Kowloon town in the Sagaing region is currently under the People's Defense Forces of the National Unity Government's armed wing and the Kachin Independent Army control. Fighting between various resistance forces have not subsided since Operation 1027's launch last October.
From Malaysia, the Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has extended his sympathies to Iran and its people in the aftermath of yesterday's bombing in Kerman province in the country's southeastern region, which killed almost 100 lives. Furthermore, PM Anwar condemned the attacks in Kerman, Iran, and demanded that the criminal be brought to justice. Anwar said that in a statement that he was very grieved by news of many bomb blasts in the Islamic Republic of Iran's territory that took about 100 innocents' lives and injured over 200 more. Yet, he said through a post on Facebook that Malaysia also mourns and stands in solidarity over the incident in Iran.
And our last headline for today, Laos officials have convened in the Laos capital, Vientiane, for discussion and exchange of opinions in preparation for the 31st ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community Council meeting in 2024. The Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism attending the meeting on Wednesday expected to showcase the country's products and services to tourism professionals at the upcoming ASEAN meeting. The socio-cultural meeting will also promote environmental cooperation on climate change, tolerance under the ASEAN Joint Declaration on Climate Change, and discuss the implementation of measures to solve cross-border haze and smoke pollution.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, and the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command commenced the second iteration of the Joint Maritime Cooperative Activity on Wednesday.
The activity lasted 2 days and was packed with various activities in the West Philippine Sea.
AFP Public Affairs Office Chief Colonel Xerxes Trinidad said the two-day bilateral event, which ran until Thursday, consisted of passing exercises, communication checks, cross-deck exercises, joint patrols officer of the watch maneuvers, and fixed-wing flight operation.
AFP Chief General Romeo Brouwer Jr. claimed that the cooperative activity marked a significant leap in their alliance and interoperability with the U.S. He further elaborated, it also demonstrated their progress in defense capabilities. The AFP and the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command first performed joint patrol in November 2023.
Tensions in the West Philippine Sea have not reduced significantly. Now, ASEAN foreign ministers have also extended their concerns over the rising tensions in the South China Sea. Just 2 weeks ago, President Marcos expressed his commitment to protecting Philippines' territory in accordance with international law.
But despite the many attempts at provocation, the Philippines, through the AFP, remains a force and a voice of reason, exemplifying responsible and dignified behavior in resolving issues in accordance with international law. We shall continue to assert our rights in accordance with the Philippine Constitution and international law. The recent incidents involving no less than our AFP Chief of Staff is worrisome. Yes, but it is a proud demonstration of Filipino courage against coercion and our firm resolve to protect, preserve, and uphold our territorial integrity.
On to our next update from the region. China's foreign ministry said on Thursday that it has made serious representations to relevant parties in Myanmar.
The action is taken following reports of stray artillery shells being fired in Myanmar and landing in Chinese territory, causing injuries.
要求缅北冲突各方立即停火止战，采取切实措施，避免再次发生危害中缅边境安宁和中方人员生命财产安全的恶性事件。中方将采取必要措施，维护本国公民生命和财产安全。
And of course, due to the high inflation, is making people around the world to cut down on their expenses. Nope, it is not the coffee. Now people are more looking for affordable and convenient instant noodles become an ideal meal choice.
Now, according to the latest update by the World Instant Noodles Association, China, including Hong Kong, is the largest market Indonesia is second, followed by Vietnam.
For 10 minutes in this convenience store, I witnessed 3 Vietnamese people buying and cooking instant noodle for the meal. This kind of food being affordable and convenient, together with the fast-paced lifestyle in urban cities of Vietnam, are the reasons for the country to be one of the largest markets in the world. However, in Southeast Asia, Vietnam ranks second only, follow Indonesia. The data for Indonesia is over 14 billion packs annually. It means that on average, one Indonesian person consumes 140 packages a year. Likewise, Vietnam is reported with an average of 87 packs per person per year, regardless of ages and walks of life.
Lần đầu ăn mì ăn liền hả? Có lẽ là nó hơi nhỏ, là 4 tuổi gì đó. Chắc từ tầm 5 tới 7 tuổi thì em không ăn nhiều, lớn lên thì nó bắt đầu nó ăn nhiều hơn. Thì em thường xuyên hay ăn mì ăn liền, nhưng mà chủ yếu thì nó sẽ tầm vào chiều và tối hơn là sáng. Ba mẹ em cũng không có thời gian nhiều để nấu ăn, thì em cũng đi học này nọ, em cũng không có thời gian nhiều, nên hầu như là em chỉ có thể ăn vội mì ăn liền để đi học thêm hoặc là làm thêm một cái gì đó thôi.
According to a market research company named Rubik, the Vietnamese instant noodle market is worth over $1 billion. The country is home to over 50 instant noodle producers, but with small scale. A newborn Vietnamese instant noodle brand has been imported to the US. During the talk with C Today contributor, the founder attributed the US market penetration to scientific certification on quality assurance. The brand is Vinacati, the first instant noodle in the world that includes dragon fruit. The go-to-market campaign of the product made the breaking news in Vietnam over the past months.
Hiện tại là các cái cơ quan chức năng của bên Mỹ đã đồng ý chấp nhận là sản phẩm mì ăn liền có thành phần trái cây thanh long công nghệ nano của Việt Nam đủ điều kiện quy trình sản xuất, đủ lòng tin để với đến người tiêu dùng của Mỹ. Và cái thứ hai nữa, ngay cả thị trường Trung Quốc, một trong những thị trường nổi tiếng về chi phí sản xuất giá rẻ, chúng tôi cũng mạnh dạn chào đến thị trường này, và hiện tại là các cơ quan chức năng cũng chấp nhận là cái chi phí sản xuất của chúng tôi đủ an toàn thực phẩm, đủ chất lượng sản phẩm và đủ sức cạnh tranh về chi phí sản xuất. Chúng tôi luôn luôn quan tâm đến việc là nghiên cứu những cái sản phẩm chế biến sâu ra cho trái thanh long để vươn tầm không chỉ ở địa phương trong nước còn ra nước ngoài. Vì thế chúng tôi cũng đã nghĩ đến việc đưa trái thanh long thành một thành phần chính ở trong cái sợi mì ăn liền. Sợi mì ăn liền truyền thống ấy, ăn nhiều ấy, thì nó nóng trong người. Trái cây thanh long chống lão hóa rất cao, mà nó còn vượt trội ở cái tính mát. Vì vậy đã khi mà mình kết hợp được cái thành phần trái cây thanh long vào trong sợi mì là nó khắc phục được cái nhược điểm truyền thống của sợi mì là ăn nó nóng.
Creative variations like Vinacati dragon fruit instant noodle is believed to make the market of Vietnam in terms of this pantry food more dynamic. So in the near future, we can say instant noodle is convenient to use, but may be inconvenient to choose. So no matter what your choice of food is, just bear in mind to prioritize your health to any other criteria. Dong Huyền Trang, reporting for C Today from Vietnam.
All right, so I'm going to ask my colleagues, my dear colleagues, your favorite instant noodle.
Okay.
Not the brand,
Not
but
the
the
brand.
region.
The region?
Yes.
Okay. For me, it's always Korean.
Korean.
Because I like spicy instant noodles. But the ones in Indonesia are...
Of course. Unbeatable. What about you?
Well, I haven't eaten instant noodle for so
Yeah,
long.
me too.
But I like Indonesian, but like one that reminds me like when I'm sick, that what I'm craving is actually from the Philippines.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's pancit canton. For some reason, like that's what I'm craving for when I'm sick.
How is it different? Because I never tasted
never had any.
For me, Philippines is very different. I mean, I try Korean, like some Indonesian trying to match that taste, but like it's very strong flavor, I guess.
Oh.
Really?
And then the best way to eat it, I guess, with a boiled egg.
Ah, Of course. Of course. How about you, Kay?
Oh, the OG from Indonesia. Man. I cannot lie.
Does it start with the letter S?
No, with another letter, but definitely we love them. Either you like it with a broth or you like it fried. I like it either each way. It's
Me
rainy
too.
season.
Oh my gosh.
Should we? Shall we?
Yeah, after this.
We're just gonna have a short break. We'll do it later by the end of the program. But right now, we are taking a break, folks. In the meantime, don't forget to follow our socials. We are on X and also YouTube at See Today News. Don't forget, we're also on Instagram. There you go. We're gonna have some belly dance, not only as a culture and dancing, but also as an exercise with Shahnaz and Indra. It's gonna be fun right here on the C Morning Show. Don't go anywhere.
The beauty and the excitement of being there.
Indescribable to lose such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we? Come on in. We found them.
Where people come and go.
A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
A group of volunteers operating in the south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Cuman dia yang ngerti gimana cara rilis the stress gitu. Pemain.
Pas waktu kan kakak tahu itu hari di Magelang. Iya kan udah ditanya juga di situ.
Jangan ini kan beda acaranya.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Great, beruntung sekali Indonesia kedatangan Argentina sang juara dunia. Pep dalam beberapa tahun ke depan kita akan lihat seperti apa karena ini adalah itu tadi. This is a whole new turf yang baru.
Lo udah memprediksikan kemenangan ini?
Oh, semua orang memprediksikan pasti. Kalau soal memprediksikan,
Cipto tiap panjang musim ya.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru, tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. Like, you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
The beauty and the excitement of being there.
Indescribable to lose such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we? Come on in. We found them.
Where people come and go.
A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
All right, guys, let's get into our first update for today.
Meanwhile, a plume of smoke was seen billowing in the distance from Rafah in the Gaza Strip on Saturday, marking the 11th week of humanitarian crisis in Palestine.
Mount Anak Krakatau continues to erupt, spewing volcanic materials up to 300 meters high.
Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that Indonesia has minimized taking that to meet the needs of the 2023 state budget until the end of the year.
A group of volunteers operating in south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
وسلامتك يا حسن بالرمش اللي حسن سلامة هم وحسن بالعين ومن الحسن وسلامتك يا حسن بالرمش اللي حسن سلامتها 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 سلامة هم وحسن عملوا لها السلطة اشهر كأنه عيار وشها عملوا لها السلطة اشهر كأنه عيار وشها عملوا لها
Hi, thank you so much for that performance. Hi.
Hi, nice meeting you. Please have a seat.
Have a seat. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting.
As we've seen Kristen with her hip dancing as one of the oldest forms of dance, there are many benefits of belly dancing, such as promoting balance, strength, digestion, coordination, confidence, as well as being a highly expressive dance.
There's a lot of things.
A lot of things.
Belly dancing is empowering and fun, but its health benefits are highly underestimated. However, some still consider belly dancing as an erotic dance from the Middle East and performed by sexy women.
Of course, and we are now joined by Christine Yaven in the studio, who will explain to us not only the benefits of belly dance, but how it is perceived worldwide. So Christine Yaven is an Indonesian belly dancer icon and who's also introduced the Middle Eastern dance in the country since 2006 by establishing the first belly dance school in Indonesia with certified teachers. So good morning. Thank you. Once again, it was a beautiful performance. Now we want to know more about belly dancing because I really want to do what you just did there. So many still view belly dance as something negative. Now this must be one of the most challenging things that you're facing as a belly dancer. Maybe you can talk more about this.
I feel that a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about what belly dance is. The first thing, of course, is everyone thinks it's an erotic dance.
It is not.
And it's not. It's not like stripping or you're wearing something very close. So it's actually a cultural dance form.
Yeah. Very artistic.
Very artistic, actually, yeah. And in the Middle East, people do this as a family entertainment.
Wow.
So when you have weddings, they will invite a belly dancer. When you have any kind of events, Muslim events or festivals, and they will have a belly dancer as well. It's part of their culture, and it's not just limited to what we think of as belly dance. So there's a lot more to it than just shaking your booty.
Although I enjoy the booty.
Of course. And of course, the younger and sexier, it's more enjoyable. I also feel, but in Indonesia, I feel like there's a big fallacy. They feel like belly dancing is a sport or something to do to make you lose weight. And it's not, because
Really?
you don't do Balinese dancing to lose weight.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
It's a form of art.
Yeah, it's a form of art. I mean, yes, you do burn some calories, you
Yeah.
know, but it's not, the objective, the primary objective is to learn the dance and to
Yeah.
learn about the culture.
Yeah.
Because the actual dance is very rich and very complex.
Yeah, that's
So
true
it's-
though.
No, that is
Very expressive.
It's interesting. How did you get into belly dancing? Like, what brought you into belly dancing?
I used to be a banker. I used
Okay, that doesn't explain the belly dancing.
So I like dancing, of course. It's just a hobby. But when I came back to Indonesia, I couldn't find a studio to continue to learn. So I decided that instead of people promoting wrong ideas and misconceptions about what belly dancing is, I would start teaching. And at that time, completely, I was not ready to teach.
What year was this?
2005, 2004.
Oh, okay.
So it was just the start of, I was still a beginner, you know, and overweight, you know, and people here in Asia, in Southeast Asia too, there's no overweight dancers.
Really?
Yeah, there's very few, very few. And people think that dancers should be young and slim. But in actuality, especially for this dance, you don't have to be.
Yeah.
Most of my teachers are over 50 or 60. And it's very size inclusive, which I love. That's really what's nice about it.
Because it's an expression, right? It's how you feel inside.
And you need to have some curves.
Yeah.
Around, you know, otherwise it's you know, it's not going to work.
So how do you figure out all the choreography and all? Because, you know, you were still a student back then.
Yeah, but I trained a lot. So I went overseas because there were no teachers here.
Okay.
Went overseas to train. I went to Egypt. I went to Europe and Singapore. Singapore has a very long history of belly dance already. Yeah, maybe like 30 years.
But if we talk about belly dancing, where is it originated from?
So actually it is a Middle Eastern dance form, but I think that the most sophisticated type of belly dance is in Egypt because it's integrated so much into their culture. In other countries, for example, like the UAE, right, Dubai, whatever, they have it as a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
It's not part of their daily life so much. They might have a belly dancer for a henna night, but not so much for their daily activities and celebrations. But in Egypt, it's definitely every Friday or every Thursday night before their weekend, families will go out and they will go out to eat, to the show, maybe go on a cruise and watch a belly dancer.
Oh, yeah?
Every time there's a wedding or a birthday, they will have a belly dancer, and it's really part of their culture.
It's nice. It's like our pocho pocho then.
Yeah, exactly. And they even have something, they have Egyptian dangdut.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
really cool.
With the rhythm and all.
Is there any levels of belly dancing? Like, how easy for someone, like, for me, try to pick it up or something like that?
I actually feel like to pick up the movements is not that difficult. Most dancers who are trained in other forms of dancing can pick up the movements quicker, but it's the music and the musicality that makes it difficult. So how do you translate the complex Arabic music into movements without looking a little bit off? Yeah.
Because I would look off.
But first, of course, you have to learn the technique. That's with any dance.
Okay, so can you mention some of the basic techniques?
I think the first thing you should learn is the shimmy, because that's very
The shimmy?
unique. Yeah, where you shake your hips and your knees, and you make your fat shake.
Oh, okay.
Then you have hip circles, all of these undulation movements, exactly.
Like a
Everybody
hula hoop.
thinks it's belly dance, but actually it's not. It's really your hips rather than your belly.
Okay. All right.
You have that some top movement too.
Yeah, that's called a shoulder shimmy. Shoulder shimmy. But you also have little accents that you can do with your chest, your hips, your shoulder, or even your head.
Even when she just like trying to show it.
Yeah.
I feel very uptight right now.
Yeah, me too. Natural dancers are different. Now, I also want to know, Kristen, because you've been doing it for years, you said that it's not a form of sport and it's a form of art. What are the benefits that you found out yourself when you do this? What made you love belly dancing?
I think the first thing is body confidence. Because this dance is so welcoming for all sizes and for all ages, I feel like Anybody can do it, especially any woman can do it.
Really?
Yeah, any woman, really. There are male belly dancers also, so I don't want to say, oh, men can't do it. Men can do it. They just have different obstacles to us. The second thing, I used to think it was flexibility, which is part of it too, but it actually teaches you about flow. How to make your movements smooth and efficient. So you're doing all of these things and something like this in your daily life. When you're walking, you don't walk like this. You know, you walk like this. So then it's very
Sometimes
flowing.
I walk like that if I'm in a rush.
Yeah. But it teaches you how to conserve your movements and be
flowing.
efficient and flowing.
Yeah.
So it's really about your overall awareness of your body.
Yeah, it's very philosophical if you think about it.
Yeah, it is. It really is. In a way, yes. And fun.
And fun.
It's really, really fun.
Yeah,
I've been doing this for over 20 years, so.
It looks fun though.
Yeah.
So I guess we should. Can we try? Like,
Yeah,
can you teach
for
us
sure.
on how we're gonna
For
do
sure.
this?
Okay.
Do we need to play the music, or do you need to tell us off like the steps or like
No,
the basics?
I will break it down. No music is better.
Do we need to stand up?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
So,
Yes, for sure. So you want to stay here?
No, not
or
like
here?
that.
Here?
Here? Okay, just here.
All right. Okay. So let's learn the first thing. It's called a shimmy.
All right.
And what
called
you're
a
going to
shimmy.
do is you're going to move your knees forward and back.
Okay.
Yeah, without moving too much your hips.
Okay.
So here.
Should I lose the heels?
Yes, it will be easier.
All right.
Although your
Seems
shoes are
like
really lovely.
taking off.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, then you go a little bit faster and go forward and back for a very good. Yeah.
I can do it.
Shaking.
Yeah. And then while you're doing this, you can do some shoulder rolls backwards.
I feel like a robot.
No, move your shoulder, move your shoulder.
Oh,
yes.
the shoulder.
Yes.
Shoulder.
I feel like this is the secret. The shoulders are the secret.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I cannot shake my knees and actually doing the two things at the same.
Yeah. And
Can we
now,
have some music?
background music. And then you can do a hip circle. So you keep your knees straight and push your hips forward and side.
Push.
Push your hips forward.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Side. Good. And back. Yes. Very nice. Good. Now imagine that you have a string on the top of your head.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. And
String
that
on
your
the top of my
head
head.
is up here and someone's pulling the string. So you can't, so you can't bob your head. Exactly. This is the
Oh, so
don't know
it's
how I'm
only
doing.
the
Let's do
hip.
one more. This is
Okay.
called an undulation. It's a very popular movement. And it goes like this. So you're stretching your front and then contracting your pelvis and your chest. Stretching your front. Most Indonesians can do this very well.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
do it well.
Yes, good. Yes, this is an undulation. Good. Very nice.
I'm very
Are you okay?
conscious.
You okay?
I'm very conscious about my body right now.
So if you imagine that you're by the beach, you're in the water, you're by the beach, and the waves are pushing you forward and pulling you back. Pulling you, yes, exactly. Good. Yes, very nice. Good.
Now I'm just moving around.
Good. So let's try a little bit of going to the right diagonal, to the left diagonal, right diagonal. Good. Left. Let's make a circle. Circle. Good. Keep your knees straight because you want your hips to move and not your pelvis.
Oh.
Good. I will teach you one more, which is very popular in Indonesia.
Okay.
This is called, I think in Indonesia, called ngebor. Like this. So they have
Okay.
this movement to this. So this is called a pelvic circle.
Pelvic
because you're
circle.
actually using your pelvis
Okay.
like this. Yes, exactly. Good.
Oh, this is
You okay, Mama?
nice. Yes.
And now to the right and left. Good. Yes.
To the
This
right
is a
and
very
left.
old circle. So they also do this in hula dance and Tahitian dance. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Good. Let's do it a little bit faster. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
And you
one.
can go down.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yes.
And I lost my technique. I lost it.
So you asked about the chest movement.
Yes.
This is called a shoulder shimmy. So you're pushing pushing it forward and back.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2. Da-da, like this. Yes, good. Keep your arms in front. Yes, very nice.
I feel like you very naturally can move
Yeah,
that.
she's very natural. But I'm sure that if you actually lost your reservations, you would be excellent too.
Yeah.
I have all cameras on me right now. So I'm very
I have to talk about the news.
But it's so fun.
Yeah, it is
It is
fun.
fun. It's so fun. So I feel like There's a lot of core workout there.
Yes, some
Yeah?
yes.
Okay.
So you also teach belly dancing since you came back, and
In 2006, yeah.
so how many students, and then where do you teach? And
So I teach in Format Hijau, which is my own home studio. It's been on and off. So, you know, in Jakarta, it's what's in fashion at the moment.
Yeah.
What's in fashion at the moment is not belly dance, but that's fine. I teach belly dancing and Middle Eastern folk dance.
Nice.
So not just Egyptian folk dance, but also like Gulf Arabic folk dance, Persian dance as well. So it's very complex.
I see.
Many layers.
Many layers. But I want to know, how enthusiastic are your participants so far?
The ones that have been with me since day one.
Really?
Yeah. So I have students who've been with me for over 15 years. I've been teaching for almost 18.
Okay.
Yes,
Almost
over 15
18.
years. Yeah. So almost day one.
Nice.
So it's been amazing.
is there such thing like a competition for belly dancing?
Yes, there is. So my students have won many competitions.
Nice.
Yeah, many
Are they competing here in Indonesia,
No,
or is it
because
always
it's still very new in Indonesia. So belly dance since 2006 to here, we have grown a little bit. So now more people know about belly dancing, but they still don't have the discipline to go and train. And also it's a financial issue because it's not cheap.
Really?
Yeah, it's not cheap. So
Okay. What do you need for the first performing performance?
you can just need as a hobbyist, it's fine. It's very easy to do, and you can just buy a simple costume and everything's fine. But if you want to do it as a professional level, a costume is expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, and training, and then you need coaching and everything. So that's what makes it
I'm sorry. What do they judge on? Like what do they look for?
Okay, so with belly dancing, there are lots of categories. So you have what they call Raksharki, which is Oriental dance. And for that, they judge you on your technique, of course, your choreography, your musicality. Does your ear match with your body?
That's the hard part.
That is the hard part. Your performance skills, your overall look, your makeup, and your costume. Yeah, but that's also a small part. The most part is the technique, musicality, and the choreography. Because to make a choreography, it's not just dancing however you like.
Yeah.
There are certain rules and certain constraints that you have when you make a choreography.
I see. I think it's all about the timing, right? The timing of your movement.
But Arabic music is really sophisticated, so they have so many different instruments.
Really?
So for example, when you do the shimmy, there is an instrument called a kanun, which is a zither, but it's on your lap, and they play it like this. There's like 120 strings, something like this, and it sounds like. So when you hear that and you don't shimmy, it's like, oh, something's wrong. Or if you hear the accordion, something like this, and you don't do slow and sensual moves, and then you're doing like hard stuff, that doesn't match either. So it's musicality like that, and knowing what kind of genre of music. So you have, for example, the Raksharki kind of music, which is typical belly dance, so with a two-piece, show your stomach, with a veil, something like this. And then you have baladi music, which is more folk style, more village style, and then you wear something more covered up. So it's not just the music, it's the costuming as well.
And it's the culture.
Yeah,
so
the
many
culture,
things to study.
and how you
dance. Yeah, okay. Now I'm very much interested. Now, can you tell me more about your upcoming projects?
So I teach regular classes now offline, but I also teach online workshops.
Okay.
I do get invited to teach overseas sometimes, so that's good. I just came back from last year. I went to Australia and Singapore. So I think maybe sometime this year I might be going to Europe, but I'm not sure yet. So it's just
yeah. So if we want to join your class, where can we reach you?
You can definitely go to my website. It's christineyaven.com, or reach me on Instagram, Christine Yaven. Then just message me. I welcome everybody. Even if you're 60 or whatever, it doesn't matter. Come.
You'll be hearing from me. That's for sure.
It's fun.
Because I want to know more about this. Thank you so much for coming back, Christine. Thank you.
Thank you for teaching us. And I'm sorry, it's very still uptight. I'm probably gonna join your class to trying to let loose.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, it's a deal. It's a 2024 deal.
Oh, yeah, that's a challenge for 2024. All right. Okay, thank you again. Well, we'll have more on updates from across Indonesia right after the break, so stay here with us on Seat today.
Thank you.
All right, guys, let's get into our first update for today.
Meanwhile, a plume of smoke was seen billowing in the distance from Rafah in the Gaza Strip on Saturday, marking the 11th week of humanitarian crisis in Palestine.
Mount Anak Krakatau continues to erupt, spewing volcanic materials up to 300 meters high.
Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that Indonesia has minimized taking debt to meet the needs of the 2023 state budget until the end of the year.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different when baguette. So with those appetite and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Untuk ini meet and greet, beruntung sekali Indonesia kedatangan Argentina sang juara dunia. Pep dalam beberapa tahun ke depan kita akan lihat seperti apa, karena ini adalah itu tadi. This is a whole new turf yang baru.
Lo udah memprediksikan kemenangan ini?
Oh, semua orang memprediksikan pasti. Kalau soal memprediksikan,
Cipto tiap sepanjang musim ya.
Hi, I'm Cece. Welcome to Tech in Today. Did you know that you can become a music star just with AI? How can a digital human become an idol? Do you know? Now there is a food delivery jetpack. Only on Tech in Today.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru, tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. Like, you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Folks, welcome back to our program. Now we have a breaking news. A railroad accident with Bandung Raya commuter line collided with a long-distance train Turangga earlier this morning in Bandung, West Java. And the crash had occurred on the Harupugur-Cicalengka route at 6:03 a.m. Western Indonesian time when the long-distance train KA or Turangga train was heading from Surabaya, East Java to Bandung, West Java. The accident has caught many attention of the onlookers, while some also captured the moment of the crash. Authorities, as of present, have now arrived on the scene to determine the cause of the accident. However, the number of casualties is still unknown. Both trains were severely damaged and some carriages fell into a rice field. Again, all this information came from the press release from the Regional Operation Office to Bandung. Again, it had concluded with the information and stated that 6:03 Western Indonesian time is the time when they found or they got the report from the Turangga that had a kecelakaan kereta api or railroad accident occurred with the CL Bandung Raya on Jalan Harupugur or Harupugur Road, kilometer 181 plus 700. And as we see, the Turangga train travelers from Surabaya to Bandung Station we're seeing right now footages and also videos. A number of train carriages appear to be wrecked and other carriages have left the tracks to the rice fields. Several passengers, as you can see right now, walking through the rice fields carrying suitcases and other items. Officers right now presently is doing evacuation, and there will be a further investigation for this railroad accident. I will keep you updated in regards to the cause and also the further investigation on this railroad accident. Furthermore, heavy rainfall and tidal flooding have caused dozens of houses in Kampong Pisang in Riau province to be submerged, with floodwaters reaching a height of up to 1 meter.
Nearly 1 meter high floodwaters also submerged streets and kiosks around Jakarta.
Heavy rainfall and tidal flooding have caused dozens of houses in Kampong Pisang, Riau province to be submerged on Thursday afternoon, with floodwaters reaching a height of up to 1 meter. Flooding also affected 30 households. Many were trying to save their belongings and ran to safety. A public kitchen was set up and logistics were also prepared for the affected people. And they're also advised to remain safe from electricity.
Untuk di wilayah Kampung Pisang, tepatnya di Kelurahan Kijang Kota, itu yang terdampak banjir ada 30 kakak berdasarkan laporan yang ada. Nah, sementara ini kita melihat kondisi air juga berangsur surut. Nah, kita berharap nanti di sore hari ini air sudah tidak meluap ke pemukiman rumah warga lagi. Nah, kita juga berharap dengan adanya kolam retensi ini kan masih tahap awal, tahap pertama, masih ada beberapa tahap lagi. Nanti insya Allah jika nanti kolam retensi sudah siap, ya mudah-mudahan tidak ada lagi lah genangan banjir seperti ini lagi.
Heavy rainfall that fell for hours overnight has also caused nearly 1 meter high floodwaters to submerge the street in Jakarta. Many have urged the government to make long-term commitments on flood mitigation efforts and create drainage systems.
Usaha keganggu nih, Bu?
Ya iyalah, dari tadi nggak kerja jadinya.
Dari tadi nggak kerja?
Enggak.
Masuk airnya, Bu, ke toko ya, Bu?
Bukan toko laundry.
Laundry ya? Yang di sini emang biasa langganan banjir, Bu?
Iya, dulu mah enggak. Tapi kalau sekarang, ya beginilah kalau hujan.
Setiap hujan,
iya.
Gede?
Udah ngarep dah begini. Mau lu masuk di depan lu? Tahu dari mana? Ini gorong-gorongnya sebelah kiri ini. Dari itu tuh kan kurang lancar jalan kita.
Ini harapannya ke pemerintah apa nih, Bu?
Ya, tolong deh diituin, diapain kayak supaya nggak banjir.
Heavy rainfall in North Kemang, South Jakarta also forced a river to overflow its bank, with waters reaching of up to 30 centimeters, causing many to get stuck in traffic jams. Authorities have warned the public to avoid the flooding-prone area and find better alternative routes as rainfall is entering its peak season. City Today contributor reporting from Bintan, Riau Island in Jakarta.
Meanwhile, the central Java government official visited a new transformed region in Fuzhou, China that used to be known as a slum area.
Now the life quality in the area has improved after the Chinese central government made major transformations.
Here is Sanjia region located in Tachang district, Fuzhou City, Fujian province, China. During the 1900s, the region became the largest slum area in Fuzhou City. As many as 3,000 houses had been damaged for years. However, since early 2000, the local government has undertaken massive renovation project. Within 1 year, the slum area has transformed into a new city for more than 9,000 people. The area also houses public facilities, including a community meeting hall, training and service centers for locals, and children playground. Locals also manage a public cafeteria, focusing on high nutritious food with affordable prices.
Kantin orang tua dibuat oleh ini merupakan suatu inovasi yang menjadi knowledge bagi saya. Ternyata kantin orang tua semuanya makanan sehat untuk orang tua, baik dari sisi karbonya, dari gulanya, dan sebagainya.
Now the local residents in Sanjia regions have better living conditions following major transformation of the slum area, enhanced infrastructure, and improved social welfare. See Today contributor reporting from Fujian, China.
Tunggu dulu. Alright, now we're going for a quick break and Carol will return with a recap from the world of sports. So keep it here on the Z Morning Show.
I'll be right back.
The beauty and the excitement of being there, indescribable through such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we? Come on in.
We found them.
Where people come and go.
A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Group of volunteers operating in the south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Cuman dia yang ngerti gimana cara rilis the stress gitu.
Pemain. Nana kan merah kan? Arsenal.
Oh iya. Saya kira kuning.
Kenapa apa?
Banana.
Oh banana.
Oh iya.
Oh masuk.
Pas waktu kan kakak tahu itu hari dimaki.
Iya.
Iya kan udah ditanya juga di situ.
Ya kan ini kan beda acaranya. Oh yang apa kan dikasih tahu.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
I'm Cici. Welcome to Tech In Today. Did you know that you can become a music star just with AI? How can a digital human become an idol? Do you know? Now there is a food delivery jetpack. Only on Tech In Today.
Welcome back to the C Morning Show right here on C Today. This is the second segment of the sports program. And of course, Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag said on Thursday that he is on the same page with the new shareholders, Jim Ratcliffe's Ineos. Ratcliffe visited the club earlier this week to introduce himself to the staff members following last month's confirmation of Ineos' 25% investment. Meanwhile, Erik ten Hag also responded to the news that Jadon Sancho would also be loaned to his old team Borussia Dortmund.
We had to have a long meeting, so many hours we sit together. I think we were on many issues, we were on the same page, very positive. I think also from both sides, I can say that. It was a very constructive meeting. And yeah, we're looking forward to work with each other. We have to let it settle down and they're just coming in, they're introducing themselves. They have good ideas, and we have to see what we can integrate in togetherness. We will work, but after one day, you can't tell that. We are talking with Rafa Varane and with Anthony Martial, and we triggered the options. So we have triggered the options on Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, and Hannibal.
Right, and why are you talking to the other two rather than just...
I think that is an internal discussion between the club and the player. I can't say anything about that. We have to wait and see how things are going. And when we have news, of course, then we will tell you.
And from football, we're going to shift our focus to NBA, where Tyrese Haliburton scored 31 points when Indiana Pacers defeated the Milwaukee Bucks 140-130 on Wednesday night to earn their 5th straight victory. Tyrese Haliburton notched 31 points and 12 assists when the Indiana Pacers scored a 142-130 victory against the Milwaukee Bucks on Wednesday night. Benedict Mathurin added 16 points for the Pacers and helped Indiana end Milwaukee's 15-game home winning streak on Monday. They are now 4-1 against the Bucks this season. On the opposing side, Giannis Antetokounmpo notched 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists from Milwaukee, falling short of his 4th triple-double of the season. Meanwhile, Damian Lillard added 23 points and 5 assists, while Chris Middleton overcame a sprained wrist and sore knee to finish with 19 points and 7 assists. It was Indiana's 5th consecutive victory and their 2nd win over Milwaukee Bucks within 3 days. Still from the NBA, Miami Heat defeated the Los Angeles Lakers on Wednesday at Crypto.com Arena, and they win it, the W without Jimmy Butler. Now, Tyler Hero scored 21 points. Duncan Robinson had 11 of his 13 points in the 4th quarter, and the Heat had beaten the Lakers 110-96. Jamie Jaquez Jr. added 16 points, and Nikola Jovic and Bam Adebayo scored 15 apiece, as all 8 Miami players who saw action scored in double figures. Kevin Love had also a season-high 14 rebounds along with 10 points, and Miami was without Butler for the 6th time in 7 games because of irritation on his right foot. Meanwhile, from the Lakers, Anthony Davis had 29 points and 18 rebounds for Los Angeles. Austin Reeves added 24 points, and LeBron James was 6 of 18 from the field and finished with 12 points.
Here he is attacking. Oh, Max! Elevate! Slam dunk! LeBron, quarterbacking lob. Davis!
All right, folks, and that's the sports update that we have for you on this program. We'll be right back with another episode of Entertainment News in our last segment right here on the C Morning Show, only on C Today.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Untuk ini meet and greet, beruntung sekali Indonesia kedatangan Argentina sang juara dunia. Pep dalam beberapa tahun ke depan kita akan lihat seperti apa, karena ini adalah itu tadi. This is a whole new turf yang baru.
Lo udah memprediksikan kemenangan ini?
Oh, semua orang memprediksikan pasti. Kalau soal memprediksikan,
Cipto tiap sepanjang musim ya.
Hi, I'm Cici. Welcome to Tech in Today. Did you know that you can become a music star just with AI? How can a digital human become an idol? Do you know? Now there is a food delivery jetpack. Only on Tech.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru, tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. Like, you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right, folks, welcome back to the last segment right here on the C Morning Show, right here on C today on this Friday edition. Now we have updates regarding the train crash that happened in Bandung Regency, West Java. At least 4 ambulances were deployed on the scene.
The crash has caught the attention of the onlookers, where many gathered to capture the incident. A joint team from Bandung District Police military personnel and train officials were deployed to probe into the crash.
Meanwhile, train officials were seen cutting the wreckage between the damage using heavy tools. The accident occurred on the Haur Pugur Cicalengka route at 6:03 a.m. near Cicalengka station. It is said that one of the carriages of Bandung commuter line plunged into the paddy field.
And also we have further reports. There was an interviewed by local medias to Bandung Police Chief Commissioner Kusworo Wibowo had said in an interview that at least 3 people had died. They were the driver, the train driver, the assistant, and 1 employee on one of the trains that had been crashed. But we're looking for an affirmative on this report, and we'll keep you updated right here in our program.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we will bring you some entertainment updates. So this is a question for you. Have you ever played Tetris and won the game? Because in Oklahoma, a 13-year-old boy became the first player to beat a game of Tetris and achieved what gamers call the kill streak.
I played Tetris before. This is an old school game. The Falling Block video game has met its match in a 13-year-old player named Willis Gibson, who became the first player to officially beat the original Nintendo version of the game in late December.
Technically, Gibson, also known as the Blue Scotty, is the gaming world made it to what gamers call a kill screen, a point where the Tetris code glitches, crashing the game.
That might not sound like much of a victory, but it's a highly coveted achievement in the world of video games. And it is a very big deal for Tetris, which has long been described as an unbeatable game.
Honestly, I didn't even realize that you can actually beat this game.
I know. So you can beat the game?
You can beat the game, bruh. And the score. Did you see the score? It was 9999999.
Also, it just glitches, and that's why they call it kill screen.
I mean, and kudos also to Gibson, because like I did not know now you can play it on your console, because you know before we always play it
on
like on a phone.
But it's a fun game.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Anyways, yes, congratulations! It's like Christmas present and Happy New Year to you. And next up, we have an update from the late king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. No, he is not coming back to life, but he is set to hold an AI concert that'll be launched by British company Layered Reality. So it is like him bringing back to life.
Elvis will be back in 2024.
the king of rock and roll is set to make his UK debut with an immersive experience, charting his private and public life, culminating with a performance. British company Layered Reality is going to launch Elvis Evolution in central London in November, with multiple cities to follow, including Las Vegas, Tokyo, and Berlin. State-of-the-art AI and holographic projection will make the experience possible, where the company will be using thousands of the global megastars' personal photos and home video footage.
The king of rock and roll is back. In November of 2024, we are bringing an Elvis immersive experience which harnesses AI to London for the very, very first time. It's going to be an incredible experience, a joyful celebration of Elvis's life. So you're going to go on a journey from Memphis to Las Vegas, from New York to Los Angeles, and really understand what Elvis went through during his life. And the end of this experience is a real crescendo, where you'll see a life-sized Elvis in AI perform some of his biggest hits.
Indonesian singer Putri Aryani and Norwegian disc jockey Alan Walker are set to release their collaborative single titled Who I Am. Let's take a look.
Besides Putri, Alan Walker has also invited Norwegian singer Peter Elias to join in this collaboration. Meanwhile, Putri Aryani announced this collaboration on her Instagram account, revealing that Who I Am is released on January 4th.
She also shared a snippet of Who I Am, showcasing her distinctive and smooth voice. In response to her post, Alan Walker and Peter Elias expressed their excitement about working with the winner of the 2023 America's Got Talent. And still from the music industry, yes? You're waiting for this?
Yeah, of course.
The picture is still right there behind you. So one collaboration we cannot wait for sure. But still right here from the music industry, Noah recently announced their official departing or retirement on their official Instagram account.
On Noah's Instagram account, the band wished their fans and crew a happy new year and thanked them for their support and gratitude. It is unclear if the band will make a comeback later this year.
Noah, formerly known as Peter Pan, has been part of the Indonesian music landscape since the 2000s, and the fans, called Sahabat Noah or Friends of Noah, are spread out throughout Indonesia, Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, and Hong Kong.
Well, thank you to Noah, and hopefully goodbye for now, and we're gonna see them again. I don't know, soon.
Reunion, Sahabat Noah, I'm pretty sure is on the agenda.
All right, that does it for today's episode of the C Morning Show on C Today. Be sure to also follow us on social media through Instagram, X, and YouTube channel at C Today News.
And C Today can now be enjoyed in Australia on Foxtel's OTT platform Flash app, or in Macau Cable TV channel 84. Or if you are in the Philippines, you can also watch the Converge Vision channel 58 and Singtel Singapore channel 50.
And for Telkomsel users, you can also watch See Today on the MaxStream app. Don't forget to also tune in again tomorrow, same time, same channel. We're here for the C Morning Show. And in regards to the railroad accident that happened in West Java, please do stay updated through our social media and also our programs right here on See Today. We have the See Today update and also our afternoon show that starts every day at 4 p.m. I'm Caroline Surahmat.
I'm Indra Marpao.
And I'm Shahna Suartono, and we'd like to say,
See Indonesia, see the world, see today. Happy weekend.
Hello guys, back again with me, Chef Rehan, only on Satisfactory, Cook Healthy and Cook Happy. On this menu for this episode, I'm gonna make some soup, okay? So I call it a wonton soup. Oh yeah. We have already all the ingredients in here. First, we have some bok choy, then some of the ginger, scallion, noodle,